Ready, sir. Jaykumar, sir.
Ma'am?
Manigandan, sir.
மேடம்
சார்
என்ன மேடம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம்ல?
ரெடி சார்.
நீங்க சொல்லணும்ல, அதனாலதான் அவங்க வெயிட் பண்றாங்க ராஜேஷ் சார்.
நான் சொல்லிட்டேங்க சார்.
சரிங்க மேடம்.
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா சார்?
எஸ் சார், யூ கேன் ப்ரொசீட்.
தேங்க்யூ சார். Most respected Vice Chancellor Madam, respected Registrar Madam, distinguished resource person, respected Head of the Department, faculty members and participants. Very good morning to one and all person over here for the day 5 of the online faculty development program on promoting excellence in physical education and sports post-lockdown, COVID-19, an innovative and professional approach. I wish to start the day 5 of faculty development program with silent prayer. Thank you. I am very happy to invite Dr. S. Manigandan, the young and energetic professor and head, Department of Physical Education and the organizing secretary of this faculty development program to welcome this gathering. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to one and all gathered here. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome today's resource person, 5th day, first session resource person, Dr. P. Samraj sir, Principal, Dr. Sivanthi Aikanar, College of Physical Education. So, in this fine occasion, we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, on behalf of the organizing committee and the university authorities, and my own behalf, we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. I do welcome all the faculty members from Tamil Nadu Physical and Sports University, faculty members from the various affiliated colleges, and my dear teacher participants, and also my dear student friends. So, in this occasion, I welcome you all in this occasion. Now, I hand over session to Rajesh Kumar, sir.
Thank you, sir. I am very happy to invite my friend, Dr. S. Jaykumar, member of this FDP program, to introduce our resource person. Sir, please.
Good morning to one and all. It is my privilege and happiness to introduce the resource person to the participant of the faculty development program organized by the Department of Physical Education, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University. Dr. P. Samraj is presently working as principal, Dr. Sivanthi Adityanar College of Physical Education, Tiruchendur. He hails from Kanyakumari district. Sir is the first professor and head of the Department of Physical Education of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, since it is in session and successfully served for 9 years. His education achievement are Master of Physical Education from the prestigious YMCA College of Physical Education, MSc Yoga, MA Psychology, MPhil and PhD from Annamalai University, and also possess MPhil in MSc in Yoga and PhD in Physical Education. He was outstanding swimmer and football player during his studentship in school, college, and university days. As an outstanding academician, he holds more than 3 decades of teaching experience in the field of physical education and sports. He authored and published 5 books, 80 research articles, publication, and presented 17 papers in international conference and 47 national conferences. As an outstanding academic, he holds many additional responsibilities. To name a few, he was the syndicate member for 6 years, regular controller of examination for 3 years, registrar for 3 years, professor of eminence of 6 months, not peer team member, NCT visiting team member, SEDET member. He has guided 21 PhD scholar and 91 MPhil scholar. He also adjudicated 19 PhD theses. He was a member of more than 50 institutions in the recruitment board. He was serving a member of Board of Studies in many educational institutions. He has visited Singapore and Malaysia for a research conference. Sir has given 6 ratio talk and served as a resource person in more than 45 conferences. Sir has successfully completed one UGC major project and guided one postal doctorate research work also. It is great honor for us to have you as a research person, sir. Now I request you to present the researchful address to the participants of this faculty development program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, my dear friend, Dr. S. Jaykumar, sir. Now it is time to listen to the resourceful speech from Professor Dr. P. Samraj, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to one and all. Most respected Vice Chancellor and Chief Patron, Registrar and Registrar in charge, Patron, esteemed Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, Dr. V. Selvam, co-resource person for the subsequent session, Faculty Development Program Director, Organizing Secretary, coordinators and members of Department of Physical Education, technical coordinator of Department of Exercise Physiology. It gives me immense pleasure to serve as resource person for the 5th day, first session of Faculty Development Program entitled Promoting Excellence in Physical Education and Sports Post-Lockdown COVID-19 and Innovative and Professional Approach. First of all, I express my sincere thanks for the organizers for considering me as one of the resource person for the set program. My topic is pedagogy in physical education. The rationale used to select the topic is that in the COVID-19 period, there are a lot of changes has occurred and it is applicable to teaching profession also. Previously, in general, we used to have on-campus, face-to-face direct contact teaching. But for the past 10 months, we are unable to follow the same and we are rather forced to go for a substitute arrangement in the name of online teaching. And it is really an experience, especially for the teachers, those who are working in professional colleges, especially physical education institutions. And in this context, a topic connected with teaching is more ideal to reinforce their teaching, to modify their teaching, and thereby the teaching and learning can be enhanced. And normally we used to say that all knowledgeable teachers are not good teachers. It will denote that to become a good teacher, knowledge alone is insufficient. In addition to that, teaching quality is required. That is why it is stated that teaching is art and science. The teacher has to impart scientific knowledge in artistic way. For that, the topic such as pedagogy in physical education is being chosen for today's program. As I told earlier, my topic is pedagogy in physical education.
It's on the video, sir.
What, madam?
Video, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. My topic is pedagogy in physical education. At present, as mentioned in my introduction, after retirement, at present, I am serving as Principal Dr. Sivendi Athanar College of Physical Education. I am proud to say one of the best affiliated self-finance college which is functioning under the aegis of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University. Meaning of pedagogy: it is the study of the methods and activeness of teaching. Pedagogy, most commonly understood as the approach to teaching, refers more broadly to the theory and practice of education. It is the heart of teaching. It is the rule and principles which guide effective and efficient activities which leads to learning. The related words of pedagogy are teaching, instruction, guidance, education, training, etc. In this juncture, one thing I wish to say: previously we used to call the college teachers as lecturers because they are giving lecture in the classroom. School, they are known as the teachers because they are teaching in the classroom for lower levels. There are difference between lecturing and as well as teaching. The current terminology is, instead of teacher, instructor. Instead of teaching, they are saying instruction, and thereby every day they are coining a new words in the field of teaching profession. That is why here we come across different words related to pedagogy. As I mentioned earlier, teaching, instruction, guidance, education, and training. Meaning of pedagogy: anything that relates to teaching is pedagogical. It concerns teaching from lesson plans to approaches to teaching, and even how the classroom looks. Pedagogical approaches, there are 5 major approaches are there: constructive, collaborative, integrative, reflective, and inquiry-based education. Due to the time factor, I am not willing to explain all these 5 approaches elaborately. But however, in teaching, the teacher should not follow the same tempo for all the classes. He has to change the teaching based on the topic and as well as the level of education of students. Meaning of education: education is the process of facilitating learning or acquiring of knowledge, skills, values, morals, belief, and habits. Education is an enlightening experience. Normally, education is to stand in our own leg, and moreover, it is a character building one. Definition of physical education: physical education is an integral part of the total educational process and has as its aim the development physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially fit citizens through the medium of physical activities which have been selected with view to realizing these outcomes. As the definition goes, it is integral part of total education. It is not possible to change physical education from general education. Normally, physical education held in open places where general education is being imparted within 4 walls, technically we called as classroom. In classroom, there is no opportunities or permission to move their limbs. They have to sit and attend the class. Whereas in physical education, it is just vice versa or opposite one. They are having the freedom to move from one place to other. They can move their limbs. That too, as far as the school situation is concerned, physical education classes are foremost one for their physical and mental relaxation. And thereby, physical education is an opportunity for students to improve their physical and mental ability while they are going for study in educational institution. Meaning of teaching. Teaching is a process in which learner, teacher, curriculum, and other variables are organized. Here we come across the word curriculum. It is more important. For example, +2 students may be of classmates and they are joining for different courses, maybe one going for a law, other one for medicine, and other one for engineering. And after completing the course, the first one is receiving the degree BL, Bachelor of Law. The second one is receiving the degree of MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, while the last one is receiving the degree of BE, Bachelor of Engineering. See, the degree given is not only mere the duration of the education, but mainly the curriculum they have followed. See, that is why in lower education, we are having common pattern. Once we go for a higher education, we are going for specialization. Then a question arises, what is specialization? Specialization is knowing more and more about lesser and lesser area. A MBBS doctor studies the entire whole body, whereas a heart specialist study heart alone. That is why knowing more and more about lesser and lesser area. In they go for MD, they study A to Z of the heart, and the area is very less. Okay. Then the primary goal of teaching is the development of logical reasoning, critical thinking, and change of behavior. The last one is very important. The teacher should be a friend and plausible. Anything lost can be regained, while the character once lost, it is very difficult to change. That is why the teachers should not forget that. The teacher should know the background of each student, and thereby we have to help them in addition to teaching to solve their day-to-day problems. And we have to mold the character of the students in addition to imparting knowledge. Meaning of instruction. Instruction is the direction of the learning process and one of the major teacher class activities. As I told you earlier, instead of teaching, nowadays in the field of education, mostly they are using the terminology or calling the word instruction. Teaching and learning usually involve instruction. Meaning of teacher. Teacher is a person who provides education for students and help them to acquire knowledge and competence. The teaching or teacher in general is not based on their degrees. Maybe a MD working in a medical college, he is not a doctor, but however, he is known as assistant professor, associate professor, or maybe a professor. So that teacher is mainly due to the qualification and mainly his profession. It is teacher not only for physical education, not only for arts and science colleges, it is applicable to all the discipline. Teacher makes the student to face the real problems of life. So that is why the curriculum should be in line with the requirement of the society, and then only it is possible to achieve or to face the real problems of life in better way. What is learning? It is the process of acquiring knowledge and skill through study and experience. With regard to learning those days, the only source for learning for them is their parents and teachers only. But nowadays, we are having thousands of digital equipments and sources through which from any corner of the world, they can know the day-to-day happenings deeply and thoroughly, not depend on others. Then meaning of classroom. Classroom is a place where group of students are taught. In the digital age, there are different advanced classroom. As I told you earlier, normally we are having the concept that classroom is a particular place. Actually, it is not so. Wherever a learning and teaching occur, that place is classroom. Normally in economics, they are using the word market. Actually, market is not a particular place. Wherever the buying and selling is occur, then the particular place is known as the market. Thereby, classroom, wherever the teaching and learning occur, it is the classroom. Nowadays, the learning occur even without teaching also. You know the meaning exactly. They are going for self-effort and thereby they are learning the things for which the digital age is more useful. That is why here it is stated that in the digital age, there are different advanced classrooms. What is smart classroom? It is a technology enhanced learning classroom that enhances the way of teaching and learning digitally. This classroom is integrated with digital displays, tabs, whiteboards, assistive listening devices, and other audio-visual components that make teaching easier and more interactive. See, normally, whenever a NCT visit is there, or maybe a NAC accreditation, the members used to evaluate the teaching facilities available in the particular institution, and thereby it is one of the benchmark to decide the standard of the institution and as well as to provide quality education for students. The same way, the next one is the virtual classroom. It is a digital learning environment that allows teachers and students to connect in online in real time. As per the instruction of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, our last semester students started their online classes on August 17th of 2020. And thereby, the teachers and as well as the students are acquainted themselves with teaching and learning of attending the online classes. The online classes become an important one and it plays a vital role for teaching in all field, and the field of physical education and sports is not an exemption to this. Types of teaching methods, meaning of teaching methods. Teaching method is a systematic way in which a teacher transfers information. Yet another definition is that teaching is a process of imparting knowledge and skills used by teacher in the classroom. A teaching method comprises the principles and methods used by teacher to enable student learning. There are different types of teaching methods, among which the first one is the instructor or teacher-centered method. Normally, there are two concepts are there. One is teacher-centered method and other one is the student centered, or we can also call as learner centered, or maybe a people centered. It is a old concept, that is the teacher centered method. In this method, more importance is given for teacher rather than the students. That is why it is known as the teacher centered. Now it is not in practice. It was the concept was changed. Here, teacher is the master of the subject matter. The teacher is looked upon the learner as an subject expert. On the other hand, learners are passive and recipients of knowledge from teachers. Lecture method is example for this, and which require little or no involvement of learners in the teaching process. This method is called closed-ended. The scope is very closed. That is why it is known as the narrow. That is why it is known as the closed-ended. On those days, this system was practiced, but now it is not so. Learner-centered method. This is the latest concept. Learner is nothing but student or maybe of people. In a class, there may be one teacher, but there are so many students. Thereby, students are more in number. They are the live wires, and teaching is not for the teacher, but for the students. Thereby, the logic is in such a way that we have to give more important for students rather than the teacher. That is why the modern concept of education is teacher-centered. This method gives more important for learner rather than teacher. At the same time, here, teacher is both a teacher and learner. The teacher plays a dual role because he is teaching and also listening the students. The teacher becomes a resource rather than an authority. Actually, we have to follow democratic principles in teaching. We should not follow the military rule in the classroom or during teaching. That is the concept. Example of such a method of discussion method and discovery method. These methods we will discuss at later stage. And the third one is the content focused method. As you are aware, the link or the bridge between the teacher and the students are the content. As I told earlier, curriculum. A curriculum consists of several content, and the content is more important. The purpose of teaching is to impart the content to the students by the teacher. Thereby, here more importance is given for the content. The knowledge and skill to be taught are regarded as important. Both the teacher and learner have fit into the content that is taught. An example of this method is the programmed learning approach. And normally this is not giving more important for either for teacher or not for the students, but for the content or the part of the curriculum. The fourth one is the interactive or participative methods. The name itself is self-explanatory. This method is the combination of previous three methods. This method is not laying emphasis on either the teacher, learner, or content. This method is driven by the situational analysis of what is the most appropriate knowledge for us to learn. They require a participatory understanding of varied domains and factors. As I told earlier, it is not giving any importance for either teacher, people, or maybe of the content of the curriculum, but it is a combination of all the three. So it is a well-balanced one rather than the previous three methods of teaching. Then other types of teaching methods. First one is the lecture method. A lecturer is an oral presentation of information by the teacher. It is relaying factual information of theoretical knowledge about a topic. Here, the teacher tells and explains the subject matter, and it is teacher-centered. It is useful to orient students and to present basic materials. The teacher is very active, and on the other hand, students are very inactive. Lack of active involvement and students limits his usefulness, and it is one-way information. This method is recommended for students with little knowledge and useful for presenting new information. A useful principle in any teaching is to go from the known to unknown, simple to complex, and part to whole. So a lot of informations are being gathered here. As far as this is concerned, it is an old method. The teacher goes to the college. After taking attendance, normally he uses the blackboard, and he is doing the things by lecture method. Normally, the mala normally in school, the period composed of 45 minutes, whereas in colleges, based on the physical and mental maturity of students, a period consists of an hour. அப்படியே போனாங்கன்னா ஒரு 1 hour ஸ்டேஜ்ல அப்படியே மழை பொழிஞ்ச மாதிரி பொழிவாங்க. It is good, but normally it is stated that it is one-way information. Information goes from the teacher to the students, and there is no possibility of feedback. See, that is why it is considered that this method is not advisable, and part of the teaching and thereby discussion is essential, that we are going to discuss in the subsequent methods. And one thing I used to say, normally almost all teachers used to follow the last aspect, that is a useful principle in any teaching is to go from the known to unknown, simple to complex, and part to whole. And it is most essential to enhance the learning ability of the students. Discussion method. In the classroom, both teacher and students activity participate in the discussion. It is a two-way communication. In this method, students sometimes talk and the teacher listen the same. During discussion, students share experiences, ideas, and knowledge. It is stimulate thinking and interesting and secure students' participation. Discussion may be used following a lecture or demonstration. This method is useful to receive feedback from students. As I told earlier, here both the teacher and students are involved in teaching in the form of discussion. Here there is an opportunity for the students to express their views, and thereby the rate of learning among students are more rather than the previous lecture methods. Here the students are able to learn more knowledge. Next one is the demonstration method. It is self-explanatory. This method may not be suitable in all places, but it plays a vital role in physical education. Demonstration means any planned performance of an occupational skill or experiment. It is useful to teach the functions of an equipment, to set standards of workmanship. The teacher should have the ability to demonstrate and also to explain. It is ideal to have rehearsal of demonstration in advance for perfection. Make sure all students can see the demonstration and hear the explanation. Always summarize the steps and emphasize key points again. Here several aspects are being discussed. Each one is more important. All the teacher has to follow the same in demonstration. Demonstration is useful not only in physical education, but also for the technical courses like engineering and even medicine and so on and so forth. So it is depends upon the area of teaching and also the subject of teaching. Accordingly, the teacher has to arrange for demonstration with a rehearsal for that if he is a beginner. Otherwise, it is not required, and thereby it is possible to follow the demonstration method very successfully in the classroom for the benefit of the students. Next one is the Tnpesu group method. First of all, I wish to say the content. Mainly, the entire class is divided into subgroup for discussion. That is the purpose of this method. And this is the difference between this method and the rest of the previous three methods. During longer session, the main group, that is the entire class, can divide it into subgroups to discuss specific issues. After the discussion, the leader of each group can report their findings. This allows everyone to exchange their ideas, like a discussion method. Helpful to develop and express imaginative ideas and opinions. It stimulates thinking. This is very essential. Not only we are hearing the subject knowledge given by the teacher, he has to stimulate to go for thinking, or we can say have more creativity in the particular aspect. The main obstacle is using this group rely on noise out of discussion and unfamiliarity with the issue of discussion. Here two things are there. Discussion is essential, but they have to avoid unnecessary noise. And moreover, each member or each student should have at least minimum knowledge on this issue of discussion. Otherwise, there is no use at all. And thereby, the intelligent students, those who are having knowledge on the particular area, should be selected for discussion or a small group discussion. Thereby, the purpose can be achieved. And the next one is the brainstorming method. And the title itself shows the main purpose is to discover new ideas and responses very quickly. New ideas, that is more important. It is good way of getting good ideas. After the brainstorming sessions, the ideas can be discussed further and evaluated. So actually, the Adityanar Educational Institution they are having 7 institutions, among which one of the institution is the Dr. Adityanar College of Engineering. On Wednesday, 2 days before 7 p.m., they had a section, especially of the brainstorming, and thereby even in our Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University also, often we used to receive the letter from the registrar and as well as the present Vice Chancellor, that is a brainstorming section connected with the particular concept. And that is why this is need of the hour. We have to sit, we have to discuss, and we have to arrive at a conclusion that to a better conclusion in new area. So that is more essential, and I will rather say it is the symptom of progress. Role plays method, self-explanatory. In role plays, participants use their own experiences to play a real life situation. Role plays are useful for exploring and improving intervening techniques and examining the complexities and potential conflicts of group meeting. However, role play is time consuming and success depends upon active participation. It is helpful to consolidate different lessons in one setting. The role play is useful only when the number of the students are very less, and thereby it is possible to have this method, maybe almost similar to a case study or something like that. It is applicable for classroom and as well as for physical education classes, and thereby the teacher can teach the subject in better way. The next one is the programmed instruction method. It is a method of self-instruction. Self-instruction of whom? Students. To provide instruction for late arrival and absentees. To provide the review and practice of knowledge and skills. You know that now the technology has developed in such a way that most of the advanced institutions, and if a student is late to the class or maybe absent for the entire class, it is possible for him to understand the matter or the subject matter covered by teachers on the particular day in classrooms. And that is why programmed instruction method. And the previous day's program can be known for the students, and I will rather say that all the affiliated colleges and as well as the university departments should have such a provisions day by day. We have to improve the system, and thereby the classroom system can be updated. Study assignment method may be of old method, but a self-progressive method. In this method, the instructor assigns reading 2 books, periodical, exercise for practice or project work. To orient students to a topic prior to classroom or laboratory work. To provide enriched material. Increase coverage of material. Reduce classroom time. This is more important. Learning can occur not only in the school or the educational institution itself or class itself, even in the home or maybe elsewhere also, they have to think about their academic activities. So this is the activity to be performed other than the classroom places. Require careful planning and follow-up. We know that normally the UGC or the university used to give benchmark to assign the internal mark. Now, most of the time, the criteria are attendance, test, pre-semester test, and it include assignment also. Thereby, the assignment is important not only to improve their knowledge, but also to get a better grade in education. Other one is the tutorial method. In it is also the word tutorial is very important. In this method of teaching, an instructor works directly with an individual student to provide individualized remedial assistance, permits adaptive instruction, stimulates active participation, requires highly competent and dedicated teacher, demands additional time. Each point is valid and lot of emphasis are being given. Whenever a NAC visit or a NCT visit, there is a criteria that in addition to regular class teaching, the teacher has to identify the dull-headed or the students, those who are very poor as far as their academic achievement is concerned. And we have to draw a schedule for them. We have to inform them well in advance, date, time, and place. It is other than normal class hour, maybe in working days only, or sometimes even holidays, maybe like Saturday or something like that. That is why in the last point is given demands additional time. This program should be scheduled not during the regular class hour. The poor students should be collected and we have to teach them with the individual attention, because the poor students are normally, if you draw a normal curve, the higher achievers are more in number. The same way lower achievers are lower in number. The middle is more. That is why normally the lower number group is less when compared to a normal class size, and we have to teach them the areas in which they are very weak, and thereby they can also improve their academic achievement in par with their classmates. And for that, the tutorial, I think nowadays the tutorial standards are very less. Those days there are more tutorial standards, private teaching center. Normally the weak students, regular students, or those who failed in subjects used to go for a tutorial, and thereby they used to learn, especially the arrear students, especially the outgoing students, and thereby they used to improve their knowledge for examination point of view, especially to get passed in the examination subjects. Then 10, seminar method for classroom. It is having two meaning, but here we mainly consider about the seminar for students, not for a research seminar or something like that. Conducting seminar in classroom among students on rotation basis in the topic of syllabus. It will promote knowledge and teaching ability among students. It is applicable for higher level of students or advanced study. Practically, it is possible only when the number of students are less in number. Actually, it is completely differ from rest of the methods we have discussed. Here, in par with the teacher, the students occupy the platform and he teach the assigned subject to his own classmates in the presence of teacher. It is being done in the thing. Mainly, it is more essential, especially for outgoing students. They should have the ability to talk fluently. Sometimes a student may be very intelligent as far as the knowledge point of view, but at the same time, to ability to convey the matter for others may have some difficulties. Thereby, such a method is useful to have a balanced education of both knowledge and as well as the verbal explanation to express the knowledge for others. So that is why there are conditions are there. Only when the number of the students are very less, then only it is possible. And wherever it is possible, according to the situation, the teacher can follow this method. Then seminar method for research. It is entirely different from the first one. To exchange information on techniques and approaches being explored out of research. A common platform to discuss research finding. Normally, we know that the higher education, the next or the final stage is research, finding solution to problems connected with the concerned discipline or area. And if I am conducting a research, and if the research finding is with me and there is no use out of it. So that is why the higher educational institutions used to arrange seminar on various topics, and the researcher used to participate and present his papers, and his findings are known for others. See, that is the purpose. That is why the seminar is more essential in addition to classroom seminar. Then now we are entering into yet another important arena of teaching, that is methods of teaching physical activities. So far we have discussed the methods applicable to classroom. Sometimes you may think over that, what is the use of discussing about classroom teaching for physical education? If you analyze the curriculum of physical education and as well as the marking of timetable or the class for students, morning 6 to 8 they are attending the practical class, and again they are attending the practical class from 4 to 6, but between 10 and 1, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. they are attending theory class normally for 3 hours. So the methods discussed earlier is useful to teach theory subjects for physical education students for the hour of 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. But now we are passing on to methods of teaching physical activities. You are aware that physical education is dominant with physical activities or practical aspects rather than the theory. Normally the concept is that if you are drawing a curriculum, 60% of emphasis normally used to give for the practical and only 40% of trust for the theory subjects. I hope the syllabus, that is the we are following at present choice-based credit system suggested and put forwarded by the esteemed Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University is also following the same. So we should have a knowledge of both theory and practical, but teaching practical should be more important than the theory. So methods of teaching physical activities. The method of teaching physical activities, athletic events and games differ from the method of teaching theory subjects. The first one is the command method. Formal activities are taught by command method. This is of two kinds. One is the response command and rhythmic command. To teach an exercise, response command is used where each position of the exercise is to be held and the accuracy and the precision of the position are to be emphasized. The rhythmic command is used when the exercise already taught is to be repeated rhythmically for physiological benefits. Here emphasis is given for movements and not for held position. It is nothing but teaching a freehand exercise. First of all, we go for a count method, and then we are going for the rhythmic method after learning the exercise. And for that, the command method is more useful and suitable. The second one is the oral method. The teacher merely explains the activity by words without any demonstration, and the students has to perform the physical activity. Suppose if the teacher is willing to teach a very small activity, say maybe of jogging, and it is a natural skill, everyone aware of it, the teacher need not go for a demonstration of that, and only by a oral command, say all the students go for jogging for 3 laps or whatever it may be, and for that the oral method is in practice. Then the next one is the demonstration method. I will rather say that it is one of the best method for physical education and sports, and moreover we are having a golden word, that trial and error. It is more essential. In physical education, we are learning by doing. Again, I repeat, in physical education, we are learning by doing. For that, to learn things correctly, the demonstration is very vital one. And a picture is worth for 1,000 words. In a primary school, the teacher is willing to teach about mountain. If he is using 1,000 words to explain the nature or description about mountain, instead of that, he is using a chart or a projective technique of method of mountain, then thereby the students can understand about the mountain very easily than an explanation with 1,000 words. That is why a picture is worth for 1,000 words. It comes under the audio visual method of teaching. The teacher demonstrates the activity with a brief explanation. Please try to understand. Demonstration without explanation is not much useful. Brief explanation is more essential, because the whole body is moving. But if there is a brief explanation, then only the students can concentrate on the particular limb which are involved, connected with a particular skill. For example, if the teacher is teaching about the basketball shooting, and in which the upper body, upper extremity is mostly involved, especially the hand position, that is the eye, hand and eye coordination for shooting, and thereby brief explanation is very essential to observe the demonstration perfectly. The students have to observe the teacher's demonstration and then perform the activity on the command of the teacher. It is one of the best method to teach physical activities. Next one is the imitation method, but there are differences between demonstration method and this method is adopted when an activity was already taught or an activity which can be easily followed. In this case, the teacher says, follow me, or do as I do, and leads an activity, and the students perform the same by imitation. As told, imitation, they are seeing the teacher and they are imitating the teacher and they are doing the same. At will method, at will, of whom? The students, in which students are given an opportunity to perform the activity. This is more important, in their own time and rhythm. They need not follow others. It is independent. They can perform according to their own time and rhythm. Please try to understand, especially in marching, you do a business in the Republic Day marching or whatever it may be, in which the movements are based on the movements of others, but it is not so. It is entirely different. It is independent. They can take their own time and rhythm. This is a free form of exercising. They can do it for their own, because individual differences are there, age factor, the demand of exercise required, availability of time, so on and so forth. And according to their own will and pleasure, they can go for exercise, and this is known as the at will method. Then next one is the set drill method. This method consists of a series of well-planned freehand exercise. It is different from the previous one, and with the light apparatus such as dumbbells, clubs, wands, pole, etc. The exercises are memorized and done rhythmically, mainly for demonstration of a function. See, you know that physical activities are being performed for different purpose, and among which for a school day function or a sports day function, especially the demonstration used to take place, in which they used to go for pyramids, either maybe of static pyramid or maybe of moving pyramid, or performing rhythmic exercises. And for that, this method is used. That is the Set drill method is used for this purpose, especially to teach these activities. Then whole method. This method is adopted when an activity is to be taught as a whole action without breaking into different components or parts. There is no breaking system. The entire activities are being taught at a stage. Example is teaching of all athletic events. To teach pole vault, movements such as approach, vaulting the pole, clearing the bar, and landing are done by this method. Of course, we used to teach some, but however, it is not a separate one. There are sequences are there from one to other, and thereby it is known as the whole method. And the next reverse is by name part method. This method is followed when the activity is possible to broken into meaningful parts. It is applied to teach different skills of major game. Suppose if you want to teach the major game, in the timetable, suppose if 10 to 15 working days are being allotted, then the teacher used to have a mental plan, how many skills has to teach, how those skills has to taught for students, and he used to teach the skills one after the other. I will rather say that தமிழ்ல சொன்னா பல பூக்கள் சேர்ந்து மாலையா ஆகுது. The same way, different skills leads to a major game. However, the skills differ from one game to other based on its nature. So that is why the part method is very suitable to teach the skills of major games. Then the next one is the whole method. Here the initial practice of skill is of major game is one on individual part. I repeat, here the initial practice of skill is of major game is on the individual part. After teaching all the skill, the parts are combined into whole activity. This method is recommended to teach major game. Here, for the first one, the skills alone is being taught. But here, after teaching all the skills, it is being brought into game situation, and thereby there are difference between part method and whole method. It is for beginning stage. This is the end of it, and that is why both method are very essential. Then progressive part method. This method is used to teach rhythmic activities which require a lot of coordination. In this method, the activity is taught step by step. First of all, first step is taught, the second step is taught, and afterwards steps 1 and 2 are combined. I hope you are able to understand. Thereafter, the third step is taught, and steps 1, 2, and 3 are combined. In this manner, all the steps of a given activity is taught in a progressive manner. Finally, the whole activity is performed with the proper coordination. So please try to understand. Coordination is a motor component which are required in the field of physical education and sports to perform different activities. Thereby, if the requirement of the coordination is more and more, if so, the teacher has to follow the progressive part method. Thereby, the example is to teach lesson. In this method, to teach lesson, this method is followed. Thereby, coordination is very important, and to develop that, the progressive part method can be followed by the teacher. Next one is observation and visualization method. In this method, skills are learned and knowledge is improved mere by observation and not by performing movements. Players improve knowledge by witnessing standard matches directly. Athletes improve skills by seeing the action of athletes in an athletic meet. Learning takes place through films also. You know that in the present scenario, may not be possible to see the matches directly. Sometimes you may be engaged in the particular time. If so, you can go for seeing a film, concerned film. Matches can be seen in television also. I hope you are able to understand. It is something different. It is stated that when we are in the childhood, more than 80% of the learning occur through visual method, that is observation, than the hearing, and thereby observation is more important in our life in general, and also very important for particularly for players to improve their skills and performance. Then now we are going for factors influencing teaching method. Previously we have discussed about the types of teaching methods. Now we are going for factors influencing teaching methods, and by considering what the teacher has to select the correct teaching method, among which the first one is factors related to teacher, subject knowledge, teaching skills, experience and commitments, aptitude towards teaching, and approachability. It is more important. All the teachers cannot use all the teaching aid, not required also. Once if you go for a vegetable market, we won't purchase all the vegetables available in the market. Based on our requirement, we used to purchase. The same way, a lot of teaching methods are available, but the teacher has to follow it based on the necessity. That is subject knowledge, his teaching skills, experience and commitments, aptitude towards teaching, and approachability. See, nowadays, I am not blaming anyone. Day by day, the physical education institutions are increasing, a good symptom. The same way, the education colleges are also increasing. There are more than 640 colleges alone located in the state of Tamil Nadu alone. If you ask all the students, those who are studying in these colleges are having aptitude towards teaching, really it is a question mark. And the situation is as such. In this juncture, one thing I wish to say, once if a student is joining for a teaching course, either maybe in physical education or in general education, no problem. But once if they join for a particular course, thereafter they have to improve their aptitude towards teaching. And before completing the particular course, they should have 100% of aptitude towards teaching, and thereby they can serve best not only for students but also for the society. 3 factors related to subject matters: difficulty of subject matter, length of subject matter, nature of subject matter, and availability of materials and knowledge for subject matter. The nature of subject matter, you know that either in school or maybe of colleges, there are several numerical sciences are there, like statistics, maths, and the same way they are having subject like history also. You know that though the different teachers are teaching these subjects, the teaching aid or the method of teaching depends upon the subjects, and that we have to consider. Then the 4th one is factors related to teaching faculties, teaching facilities, whole versus part learning, mass versus spaced practice, and learning by doing. Whole versus part learning, you have seen. Mass to practice and distributed practice, though it is a thing comes under the practice, it is a part of sports psychology. There are mass and as well as distributed practice. Normally they use the term distributed practice. And learning by doing is a concept mostly applicable in physical education, and thereby the depends upon the teaching facilities only it is possible to use the teaching method, and other one is the factors related to institution, residential versus non-residential. Normally, the residential schools can do better for teaching in including curricular activities than the non-residential. Residential institution, in the sense, it is an institution in which both students and teacher reside in the college or a school premises itself. Not only student, residential means it is applicable for teacher also, and thereby such institutions are nowadays comparatively very less. But residential for students alone is available in large number. Then non-residential day scholars are dominating. Then the other one is the school and classroom climate. Climate means not the environmental condition, but normally this word is familiar in education. That is the school and classroom climate. As a whole, the school should have a good atmosphere for teaching and learning, and in the same way, the classroom also should have a better situation or environment for teaching and learning. Then the other one is the physical and material resources. Physical and material resources, what I mean, the first one is the structure of the building, physical, and material resources. What are the facilities available inside the building? And each institution used to have its own merits and demerits, and an education institution should have both physical and material resources. Then institutional achievements, they should have a record. Say example, a NAC assessment, always A++ score only. See, likewise, and not only that, and in all aspects, they should have the records, and mostly of teacher-student ratio. It is lacking some of the institutions sometimes. If the students are in line with the availability of the teacher, then all the problems can be solved. Then effective teaching strategies. Teaching strategy is the careful plan of action for better teaching. It is an elaborative and systematic plan of action in order to meet students' individual needs. Teacher requires the implementation of creative and innovative teaching strategies in classroom. There are 7 teaching strategies for the classroom. First one is the visualization. For the academic concept of life, the visual and practical learning experiences. Use interactive with the board and display photos, audio clips, video, etc. Here again, it is connected with lecture method and students teacher-centered method. The students can visualize things in better way. Next one is the cooperative learning. Encourage students of mixed abilities to work together by promoting small groups. Inquiry-based instruction. Encourage students to ask questions and investigate their own ideas. Helps improve their problem-solving skills and deeper understanding of academic concepts. Differentiate teaching based on students' abilities to ensure none of the student is left behind. Assign classroom activities according to students' learning needs. See, normally we are aware, suppose if I am entering into a class to teach a particular subject, say maybe of research methodology, in our Indian situation, the group is always heterogeneous, not the homogeneous. All the students may not have the same knowledge in all the areas, and there may be dull-headed, average, and good students. Thereby, it is ideal to divide them. Normally in school, they used to have section A, B, C, D. In some of the schools, section A, and all the intelligent students, almost good students, used to be in A, and others are in B, C. Likewise, they used to divide. But thereafter, a concept was that in democratic way of education, it is not ideal to group them accordingly, and a mixed group is always good, and the teacher has to teach the subjects in order to understand the subject matter, not only for the good students, not only for the average students, but also for the poor students. That is why terminology is being given. None of the students should not left out without understanding the knowledge. Next one is the behavior management. Behavior is more important. Noisy and disruptive class do not encourage a productive learning environment. Normally, it is possible to have in schools lower standard that we have to minimize. Then the next one is the professional development. It is applicable to higher education. And the next one is the technology in the classroom. It is more important. And the talk of the town is about the digital teaching. Incorporating technology into teaching is a great way to actively engage students. At present, digital media surrounds young people always, not only in classroom, forever. Then educational technology, and it is nothing but using technical aspects in in education or maybe for teaching. And due to time factor, I am not willing to discuss this. And the next aspect is the types of teaching aid. There are traditional and modern teaching aid, audio teaching aid. It will have the sound alone. There won't be any vision at all. Then the next one is the visual teaching aid. These aids use the sense of vision, and it is depends on sight. Example are chalkboard, blackboard, chart, diagrams, map, model, motion picture, projector, so on and so forth. Visual method, you know that. The audio method is having its own merits and demerits. The same way, visual teaching aid is also having its own merits and demerits, whereas the demerits are less for the next method, that is audio visual aids. In audio visual aids, it involves the sense of hearing and vision. Students are able to hear the messages and see the images. Example are television, video, films, etc. So normally nowadays, not only students, and we are also willing to listen the television rather than hearing a radio. What is the difference? There is no images at all. That too, in images, those days we had only black and white system only, but nowadays we are having different attractive colors that add the richness of images, and thereby the audio visual aid is more important. Always we have to follow the audio visual aids in classroom. Teaching benefits of teaching aid, you know that, I need not say anyhow. Teaching aid is important to improve the teaching and learning process. It is useful for both teacher and students. Benefits of using teaching aid for the teacher: it improves quality of teaching. Classroom is alive and active. Teaching becomes simple, saves time and energy. If teaching aid is available, lot of information can be imparted to students with a minimum period of time. For example, a botany teacher goes to the class and he is drawing the parts of the flower on the blackboard by using color chart. Instead of that, the teacher is carrying a chart which contains the flower, and thereby it can be hung in suitable place and he can teach teaching, and thereby the teaching aid saves the time and it encourages the students. Then benefits for students. It enhances quality of learning. Students can learn better. Learning become simple and able to remember for long time. Create interest towards learning. Provide clarification and motivation. That is more important. Motivation. Improves creativity and imaginative power. Provide better interactive experience, reinforcing a skill or concept. Helps to retain more concept permanently. Normally the research showing those that if the teacher is using the teaching aid, the students are able to learn in better way, and the retention power. There are two types of abilities there. One is the short-term power and short-term memory, and the other one is the long-term memory. And students are able to have it in long-term memory, and they are able to remember it for a longer period of time, relieving boredom by presenting information with the tools in exciting way. கிளாஸ்ல ஒரு டீச்சர் மட்டும் இருக்கிறத விட அவர் ஒரு டீச்சிங் எய்ட் வச்சிருந்தாருன்னா டீச்சரே பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க. அந்த டீச்சிங் எய்ட்ல உள்ள சப்ஜெக்டை பார்த்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து போரிங் வராது, ஒரு ஃபிலிம் பார்த்தது மாதிரி இருக்கும். 1 hour கிளாஸ்னா நம்ம கிளாஸ் எடுத்தாச்சுன்னா 1 hour போறது அவனுக்கு பெரிய பிரச்சனையா இருக்கும். தலையாட்டுவான், கையை சொறிவான், வாட்ச பார்ப்பான். பட் அட் த சேம் டைம் இஃப் யூ ஆர் யூசிங் தி டீச்சிங் எய்ட் and they may not know how they are able to spend an hour in a class. That is why it improves reading comprehensive skill, it provides conceptual thinking, it improves vocabulary ability, it provides a direct ability to the students. Multimedia instruction, it is a part of the teaching. Multimedia, it is a computer based guidance that involves the use of diverse type of media such as presentations, web-based guidance, and online tutorial in order to convey an instruction image. It consists of instructional message which contain words such as printed or spoken text, and pictures such as illustrations, diagram, photo, animation, video, etc. Students can learn more deeply from words and pictures than from words alone. Benefits of multimedia instruction: access to vast variety of information, deeper understanding, improved problem solving, increased positive emotions, global exploration. This is more important. And if you are using multimedia, the students will have a global exploration in concerned subject. Pedagogical research in physical education. My topic is pedagogy, and research is the symptom of progress. Research is scientific inquiry of solution to a problem. I appeal the physical educationists to conduct research in the area of pedagogy, especially in physical education. One thing I used to just say in this juncture, we are receiving or awarding PhD in physical education, but most of the research topics are connected with sports. Please try to understand, most of the topics we are going for training methods, and we are going for experimental studies, and which not exactly belong to sports. Anyhow, one way or other connected with physical education. Whereas the research topics connected with pedagogy is of 100% of part and parcel of physical education. I do not know the trend is in such a way, and I request all the candidates to concentrate on research in the area of pedagogy also. And there are research in education and in physical education, and we have to give more importance for pedagogical research like education area, and thereby it is possible to improve. Institutions associated with pedagogy: National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research. It is not connected with education or physical education. Actually, it is for technical education. And thereby in this area, in this juncture, it is advisable to have such a institution for physical education also. First of all, let us have an institution for at the state level, and thereafter we shall have an institution for pedagogy, especially of physical education, or another department, a parallel department can be started or can be function in department of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University to enhance pedagogy in physical education. Actually, this institution was established by Government of India, Ministry of Human Resource Development. It is located at Taramani, Chennai. The next one is the Directorate of Teacher Education Research and Training. It is located at DPI campus, College Road, Chennai. It is also available in all districts, its own branches, district of Tamil Nadu. In the same way, it is ideal to have an organization for physical education in for with education at the state and as well as the districts, and thereby it is possible to do so. Normally in school level, they are periodically giving training for subject teachers regarding the teaching method and as well as the teaching aid. But such a provision is not available for physical education teachers, especially they used to say as the diet. Normally, they used to select a group of teachers, they used to attend training. Thereafter, they used to give training for the rest of the teachers in school on rotation basis. It is a good system. Knowledge can be updated, and not only that, the pedagogical skill and ability of the teacher can be enhanced. And the quality of education for the development of our nation. It is true that quality education is the joint endeavor of teachers, students, parents, government, and private educational administrators and society people. Let us all work together to achieve quality education, to improve the status of our country as a developed country. There are underdeveloped countries, developing countries, and developed countries at the global level. Now we are in the middle, and from the middle we have to move to the top, that is a developed country, for which it is the responsibility of the teachers to follow better pedagogy and to have quality education for students, and thereby the status can be improved as developed country within the shortest period of time. Thank you. I acknowledge my sincere thanks to the organizers for providing me an opportunity to share my views. I thank all the participants for your patient listening. And as I told earlier, if you enter into a class, the students are not heterogeneous. Sorry, students are not homogeneous, but they are heterogeneous. In the same way, normally a webinar, the participants are also not of homogeneous, maybe of heterogeneous. I do not know how far you are benefited out of my topic. Anyhow, and one way or other, all the participants are associated with teaching, and thereby it is ideal to follow these principles to become a teacher. And our aim is not only become a teacher, but as a good teacher and also serve best to the nation. So in this regard, I hope that you do have enjoyed my topic. Once again, I express my thanks for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your valuable speech, sir.
Okay.
Now I invite Dr. S. Tirumala Kumar, Professor, Department of Physical Education, to present the e-certificate to the resource person.
Very good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Sir, out of your experience with the legends like Dr. Robson, Dr. JDM sir, Dr. David Manuel Raj sir, and Dr. Vaidyanathan, Dr. R. Tirumala Swami sir, were able to explain us the pedagogical prospects of physical education. And you have urged us to do the research in physical education to contribute some of the teaching methodologies in the pedagogical area. So on behalf of the organizing committee, we are very proud enough, and your lecture was very useful for us. And on behalf of the organizing committee, we are like to present the e-certificate for your a resourceful lecture on the pedagogy in physical education. Sir,
Thank
please
you.
accept, sir.
Okay, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Over to Dr. Rajesh Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Kamala Kumar, sir. Question session.
Sir, there is only one question in the chat box, sir. Shall I ask, sir?
சொல்லுங்க.
There is only one question in the chat box. Shall I read the question, sir?
சொல்லுங்க.
Yes, sir. It is question from Buspam. In physical education college, we are using dumbbells, lazim, and Indian clubs. Do we need to replace it in this modern day requirement?
No, not at all.
Yes, sir.
The purpose of freehand exercise and as well as the light apparatus are mainly to develop coordinative abilities for school students.
Yes, sir.
Especially at the primary school level, first of all, they are not using paper. Slate use பண்றாங்க.
Okay.
Thereafter, they are using ruled paper. Why? The eye-hand coordination is not up to the mark in the particular age.
Yes, sir.
If they are using plain paper, then a mountain and hills may arise there. They may not be able to write sequentially or correctly. And only after the particular age only we are introducing the plain paper to them to use in the classroom or under normal circumstances. See, that is why it is not only for a beauty purpose or maybe a demonstration purpose. And that is why there the word come across physiological benefit, especially of the coordination, eye, hand, and leg coordination. And when they perform the exercise rhythmically, see, that is why we can add new activities, nothing wrong in it. But at the same time, the traditional type of activities we should not change. It is having its own purpose. So develop the eye-hand coordination, especially for the young children, those who are studying in schools. That is my concept.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your explanation, sir. Over to Dr. Rajesh Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Nice for your explanation, sir. Thank you so much for your resourceful lecture. From your lecture, we are able to understand methods of teaching physical activities, and we are also understand the importance of effective teaching strategies for better teaching. It is very useful for teachers and students. Thank you for once again, sir. On behalf of the organizing committee and participants of this faculty development program, I wholeheartedly thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Fine. What about yourself?
Yes, sir. Because of you, you are very fine, sir. Happy to see you, sir.
Okay. Dr. Selvam.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா?
நல்லா இருக்கு சார், நல்லா இருக்கு சார்.
சரி.
Sir, வணக்கம் சார்.
வணக்கம். Thank you.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம்.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Close.
We are moving to the second session of the day 5. Dr. Selvam, sir, ready, sir? Proceed.
Ready.
Thank you, sir. I am very happy to delighted invite Dr. S. Manigandan, Professor and Head, Department of Physical Education and Organizing Secretary of this Faculty Development Program, to give the welcome address. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. It's my much pleasure to welcome our today's second session resource person, my teacher in Annamalai University. So really I'm very proud and privileged to welcome our resource person, Dr. P.G. Selvam, sir, Professor and the Dean of Faculty of Education in Annamalai University. On behalf of the organizing committee and university authorities, on my own behalf, we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
I do welcome all the participants and the faculty members from various institutions, and also I welcome our student friends. Once again, I welcome you all in this occasion. Over to Rajesh Kumar, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm very happy to invite my friend, Dr. S. Jaikumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education, to introduce our resource person of the second session. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. Good morning. It is my privilege and happiness to introduce the resource person and my teacher to the participant of the faculty development program organized by Department of Physical Education, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University. Dr. P.V. Selvam is presently working as professor and dean in Annamalai University. Sir is working in Annamalai University since October 1992. His educational achievement are Master of Physical Education, MA Sociology, MPhil and PhD in Physical Education from Annamalai University. Sir also holding Diploma in Sports Coaching in Basketball from NSNAS. His specialized subjects are basketball, exercise physiology, training methods, netball, yoga, and research and statistics. As an outstanding academician, he holds more than 3 decades of teaching experience in the field of physical education and sports. He authored and published 90 research articles and presented 16 papers in international conference and 9 national seminars. He has guided 15 PhD scholars, 8 PhD scholars are pursuing now. He is holding membership in many professional bodies, to name a few. Chief Editor of International Journal of Sports and Fitness and Exercise Science, International Journal of Multidisciplinary Research and Modern Education, ASEAN Network for Scientific Information and Academic Journals. Sir has received many medals, to name a few: Global Teacher Award 2020, Lifetime Golden Achievement Award, Yuvasri Award, Yoga Acharya Award, Lifelong Achiever Award, Best Social Worker Award, Udarkalvi Jeeva Jodi Award. It is great honor for us to have you as a research person, sir. Over to Dr. Rajesh Kumar, sir.
Thank you, Dr. S. Jaikumar, sir. Now it is time to listen to the resourceful speech from Professor and Dean, Dr. P. Selvam, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, all of you. First of all, I thank the organizing secretary, Dr. Manikandan, and the other committee members to invite me as a resource person. Really, that is a wonderful title they given to me, because the new one, that e-learning and teaching in physical education activities. During the current scenario, just a minute, I'll share the PPT. It's visible? Okay. So, e-learning and teaching of physical education activities. During the current scenario, that is a very essential for us to make it up all those things. Because due to COVID-19, that all the programs are shut down. So that's the only way we have to make it our the program success only through that e-learning. So normally that the e-learning, so that e-learning means that electronic media. We are learning through the electronic media. So the electronic technology is very useful to enrich our knowledges in longer way, because lot of new concepts are there in e-learning, because whenever if you want we can learn, whenever if you want we can hear, because the traditional things what we are doing, so traditional things, when if you are the students are willing or not willing, even the staff is willing or not willing, we are not considered, only we have to follow the certain things. But especially for the e-learning, we have to make it up their convenient, we have to make it up their own interest. So whatever you want we can make it up in their interest. So really everything's happen in our life, we can make it up for the positive aspect as well as negative aspects. Especially I thank the COVID-19. The reason is because normally we are all physical education experts. So before COVID-19, even if you are informed to any individuals, you had to do for regular activities, that's a good for health. But no one hear of that our voices. But after COVID, what happening? So everybody they should follow. So one way that's be affected our health, but even though that's teach to us to how to live, how to make the society. Everything we can learn through the COVID-19. So in the COVID-19, they teach lot of things to our society and peoples and all also. Because normally when you are started, you can even myself itself, I'm not aware of that all the concept through that electronic media. So once if you are having the facing the problem, so we can take in a much more other steps to make it up to send our sources to our society. So that is the only way we have to make it, so we can learn for that one. So normally that the situations arises, so automatically we had to develop ourselves. So for that reason only, that every situations are that learning itself, we can birth to death, we can learn lot of things. The same thing due to the COVID-19, we are learned through that all the electronic media sources. So normally, e-learning is the use of electronic education technology in learning and teaching. So normally, what we are saying that electronic technology, e-learning, so helps to us for the, or if you make it up to the instructional technology, information technology, and communication technology in education. So normally, how we can make it up instructions, various instruction, how we make it up, what are the ways, everything. Because previous we are making the only for we have the study materials and we had to do it for the lecturer on classes. But now we had make it of the all the technology we can implement it to learn lot of things in our life. So the education e-learning we called as the various forms, various, even if you are taken some articles and reviews, the e-learning they were mentioned as a e-tech, learning technology, multimedia learning, technology enhanced learning, computer based instruction, computer managed instructions, computer based training, computer assisted instruction or computer aided instruction, internet based training, flexible learning, web-based training, online education, virtual learning environments, M-learning, and digital education. So they are saying the so many ways because everything that's be implemented on some sources of other medias. So normally, so if the approaches is differ, but everything comes under the one heading of the e-learning, or if you call us that all comes under the education technology. So normally the initial stage itself now, that's a lot of changes will be taken place, our human lifestyle and technology, everything. So normally when we are as a student life, we are taken a notes. Now last week I taken one classes for the yoga students. So previous what we are doing, so we are making up some chalk pieces, use the chalk pieces in the notice board, and they have to return in the paper, and they had to. But nowadays what they are doing, no? Simply they take a mobile and taken a snaps, and they had to read out the thing. So some of the positive aspects also is there, but some of the negative aspects also is there. So the positive aspects means, so whenever their time permits, they can learn. Already I told that that's a free of time, free of that mentality. When they're free, they can go through it. But one drawback also is there. For example, suppose if you are taken a classes, they can write something else. So that should be more advantages, because once if you write something else, that's be keep mind in your longer period. But without writing, just you can observation that not be in a long period. So that also is there. So based on that, we can motivate the students. Even if you wanted to take in a snaps, I simply inform that the classes. If you want, you can take in a snap. But whenever if your time permits, first you can write the things to in a notebook. Because once if you're having a notebook, that capabilities, you have to understanding. That's a means, that's a hand-eye coordination as well as your brain also understanding what you write. So everything storage in your brain. So automatically it's bigger. Simply if you are go through it, so it should be flash and again it will be remove it from your mind. So that e-learning helps a lot of helps to our things. The alternate terms of the are all in more the education technology. In that they refer to the use of modern tools such computers, digital technology, electronic media, network digital devices, and associate software and courseware with the learning scenarios, worksheets, and interactive exercise that facilitate learning. So normally any media come over there in our field, any new concepts come over there, definitely lot of positive aspects also there, lot of negative aspects also there. Normally what we are saying, if you are using the electronic medias, so definitely that affect our health. If you are using the electronic media, automatically the electronic waves passes to our body and it damages our cells. Even though we can use things, we can, our knowledge will be enriches, save the time, everything. So we can minimize using of the electronic medias and maximize your knowledges. So in that way, we had to promote them. Then evolution of education day by day, there should be that the technology day by day that will increases nowadays due to the COVID-19. We are all they are facing that the technology comes to the greatest impact of the internet classes. Because normally what they are saying, whenever if you are wanted to be, we had to refer with our masters. Nowadays, whatever if you need, whatever if you want the informations, just Google is the super master of all the peoples. Whatever you need, you can apply, you can enter into the Google and you can get all the results. But only the interpretations only we are make it nowadays. So what is e-learning? So the letter E in e-learning stands for the word electronics. Normally, that learning, already I told that that's a birth to death we are learned. But the e-learning means that the learning, so we are gaining the knowledge through electronics versions. Through electronic versions, so we called as the e-learning. It is a storehouse of education information, communication, training, knowledge, and performance management. Normally, that learning, we are making it up only we can gain the knowledge. But through the e-learning, we have the additional informations. So everything's impact of because this is a new media, this is a new version. So automatically what we are doing, we had to get a more information, whatever you want, we can. For example, I've taken a classes. Only limited aspects only I have the knowledges. But at the same time, if you are learned through the electronic media, so they have all the informations they are available in the electronics media. So through that we can make it up. Then communication, training, knowledge, and performance management, especially in the performance management, because the time performances or knowledge performances. Because when if you are open the electronic medias, when if you are use the internet, lot of negative concepts are should come over there. But you had to maintain, you had to manage how to get the right things. Already I told that when if you are using the electronic versions, definitely that spoil our health. Then how you make it up? So based on that, we can manage and we can make it use in the shorter duration and benefit much more concept through the electronic media. E-learning is going to be immense. Nowadays, everybody you know that the education and training forms one of the largest sectors of the economy in the most countries. Because most of the countries, even if you are search any websites, anything, lot of education institution, they come over there. They are through that education, we have to make it up that the country economics will be developed. So nearly the 40% of Fortune 500 companies have the established corporate universities. So nowadays everything is in the money minded. Everything is money minded. But at the same time, when we are search for the things in the universities, how they run, what are the materials available, everything. So if you want, you can go through the website and you can find out. So when if you wanted to improve that countries, so they had to concentrate on the education. Now, due to the e-learning, we have to make it much more things. Over the last decade, the number of corporate universities grow the 400 to 1,800. Just you can imagine the 400 to 1,800 because that much attractions will be there. So once if you are go through the corporate universities, they have much more concern, much more facilities are there. So through that facilities, they can available all the materials and they can proper management they are making. So through that, the students are gaining and they get a more appointment opportunities. So automatically, the most of the students they move towards under the corporate universities. The skilled jobs now represent the 85% of all jobs in US. In contrast with the 20% in 1950. Because nowadays, even if you want, I discussed with my students. So when if you wanted to do your perform, that mark is not an important aspects. If you want, if you read, you can gain your knowledge. You can gain your knowledge, enrich your knowledge. When if you are going for a job, they have to They have to know about the how much knowledge you are gaining. That only they can understand. Even if you had the highest mark, that not be placement in your future. Only you have to concentrate in that aspect. The e-learning is a very essential aspect to develop the knowledge. If you want any depth of the particular concept, you can easily access through the e-learning. If you're in the classrooms, if you are reading, so what have only the limited time permit, so limited time, the particular limited time what we have to teach, that only they can understand. But in this aspect, what we are doing through the e-learning, whatever depth you want, if you are having the interest, for example, if you are studying four areas, if you are concentrating on the particular area, if you are concentrating the particular area, if you are interested, so automatically you can deeply involve on the particular concept and you can enrich your knowledge. Automatically, the knowledge will be developed on the particular aspects. The chart will be based in the internet in ASEAN continent. Just to go through the chart for the Indian continent, in that only that Indian, they have the only 0.45 percentage only we are using the internet, because that first of all, the introduction of the internet online classes. So that time we have a meeting with our vice chancellor. So the vice chancellor, some of the staff members, they are rising, even they are working in the universities. They are telling, sir, don't know about the computer, we don't know about the internet, how we can take the classes. Immediately, vice chancellor, you are not fit for the education areas, because once if you are come over there, you can know all those things. You must do it for the turn. You can learn for the turn. You can make it up for the turn. So, for example, I told that India 0.45%, which is like largest population. We are growing stage, but still we are having only 0.45 percentages. So everybody you can utilize for the turn. Everybody you can learn for the turn. Everybody you can utilize for the turn. So then only we can promote the education in future. Now we are discussing the e-learning blended mode. So normally the previous what we are doing that the chalk and board has a long rule on the classrooms. Whenever if you are using the whatever they write, whatever the teacher write, then only we can, what are the, for example, I am a teacher, I taken a classes, what I have the knowledge that I can express. So that only the students are learning. That only students are learning. So apart from that, they are not having that idea. But if compared to the e-learning, so the e-learning making the interactive digital content. So the more emphasis here, if you call it as a less emphasis. So more emphasis means whatever, for example, if we just I sit under the computer and I can make search something else. So I attract something else into the subjects. What happening? Immediately I can enter and learn much more things. So there is a limitations in for the chalk and board system, but there is no limitations for the e-learning systems. So we are it not limited here on demand learning. What demand means? So whatever your demand, what your needs, whatever I need. So all the individuals, for example, in a classroom, 50 students are sitting there. So every demands will be different. But what in previous systems, we can make it up. That's a common for all the subjects. But once if you are having the e-learning, so whatever the each individual demands needed, so they can go for their own demand and own need, own interest, they can inform you. So apart from that also, the more interactive, because normally in the classroom system, what happening, if you are teach something else, only the out of the 50 students, only 2 or 3 they are having the interest. So in front of others also, maximum classes I am observing, they know they ask the questions. Only few of them they ask the questions because they are not interested on the particular area. Only the name Namkevas, they sit in the classrooms and they take enough. But once if you are having the e-learning, what happening? So the more interaction. Why the more interaction will be? Because once if you have an interest on the particular field, so automatically they have the urge to what is the next, what is the next, what is the next. In this aspect, they can enter in the total area, so automatically the more interaction will be taken place. Once if you have the more interactive, so suppose someone will be asked the questions, so I don't have anything, I not have the idea, so then I automatically what I had to do, the teacher also they have to go and search and the teacher knowledge also increases. Normally when if I have the classes, I several times I inform to my students, once if the teacher taken a classes, so the interaction will be more, so then only that knowledge is spread out to the others also. For example, I have some doubts, I ask some questions to my master. What happening? So they are given an answer. So some of the students even not have not interest. So what they are asking is just they listen and their knowledge will be increases. But that not be happen with the e-learning. So once if you are hey e-learning on the based on the aspect, they go on for that. But if you are not having that interest on the particular field, so that also some of the negative points also is there and positive points also is there. Now, we have covered the traditional and e-learning approaches. Traditional classroom, that the physical that we present and the only limited size because depends upon the classroom. We have to make it of the subjects and uh, synchronized and PowerPoint or transparency or etc. We can use for the textbooks, library and video and collaboration on one learning path. So lot of concepts will be the traditional classroom. Once we have normally if you taken a classrooms, there are the, for example, if you have the timetable 10 to 11, only 10 to 11 only I come over there and I have to teach for the concept. The students also, if you have the 10 to 1, so they have to 10 to 1, they come over there, there's a limited particles. So 10 to 11 some classes, 11 to 12 some classes, 12 to 1 some classes. So only they mind preparation on the particular concept only. So for example, especially normally, sometimes the same concept will come over to the 2 hours or 3 hours. So they are not able to concentrate. So in lot of concepts with that, the same concept, if you have taken, what are the concept I taken, only I presented through the PowerPoint or the transparency, etc. And we can use the textbooks and use the libraries also. So what happening, maximum students, they are not visit for the library because simply they are going because lot of concept be there. So why you want to read something that all because already I told that one subject I will master, so I wanted to do something else, but I want to cover the syllabus. If you want to cover the syllabus, I can go through all those things. So a lot of defects for the traditional classrooms. Some advantage also is there. For example, if 5 or 6 people are there or they are interested for the subjects, so they are discussing, so automatically that also, if you not have the interest, I also can concentrate in the certain concept and will be clear. But if you e-classrooms, there is a only based on your interest, based on your interest. There is a no limitation of the sizes, whatever you want. For example, now we are conducting the online classes. So one near about 166 members, they are attend the classes. But at the same time, if you are a traditional classrooms, only 50 or 60. Or they are sitting in the classrooms. So only the limitation. If you want, we can take in 2 more sessions will be taken places. So that is there. And second point, anytime, anywhere. So just like I told that, whatever you want, wherever you want, we can make it up anytime. Even if you want to listen, you can start the classes anywhere else. For example, today I have some program in Madurai, so I come over there. I here itself I taken a classes. Even if it the traditional class means, if you're not able to come over there, I simply drop out all the sessions and come over there. So lot of benefits in the e-classrooms. Then multimedia simulation is there. Multimedia. So we can whatever facilities if you want, we can use any type of electronic tools to use for the things. Then digital library. Normally, the digital library, that is a vast area, digital library. So whatever you want, whatever the materials you need, all the materials they are placed in the digital library. If you want, if you can select the particular area and select the topic and whatever depth you want, you can make it up. The next one is on demand. Already I told that. So what are the demand if you need? If you're demanding, for example, if you're taking a training, for example, simple concept is a training. If you want a training, so which type of training you need? Or training which or you wanted to which game you want to training or which sports you wanted training. So everything you can get it up. If you are a traditional class training, we can frame commonly we can discuss for that one. That not applicable for all the students. For example, some basketball player is there. Why I wanted to do for the athletic training, I had to wanted to, I wanted to particular my things. These are concepts. But at the same time, if in the e-classrooms, you want, you have to go into for your specialized. So everybody master on the particular field. Everybody the master on the particular field. The learning path and piece determines by the learner. So here, the traditional classroom, the master only decided to what you are going to learn, what you are going to learn. So because they are given a direction, they are given a direction. So that direction only you have to go it further. But especially in the e-class, what you have to go to, the learner should decide. Learners should decide where we wanted to go, what we wanted to learn, and what are the concepts we want to learn. Everything they meet out by the learner. So normally, change in delivery mode. First is it's a traditional method. Normally, the growing students population, then increase in tuition fees, lack of facilities and funding. So normally growing. So nowadays, the day by day, just you think it over day by day, the education institutions increases. The growing student population, they wanted to move, they had to come over there, and increase in tuition fees. Normally, they every year they increase the tuition fees. What are the defect? I'll explain that one. Then lack of facilities and funding, because even if you are the private institutions nowadays, they are much more better because they have the more fund, and they can automatically they make it the more facilities. Not really government institution. What happening? They have the less fee structures, so their infrastructure, they are not having the much more infrastructure facilities. So if you want, for that reason only, they had to go for the private institutions. Once if you have the private institution, they have much more facilities. If facilities are more, so automatically they learn much more things. But in the e-learning, so the more virtual universities nowadays they come over. Whatever you want, you can learn it. In that, not that cost is not that much. Whatever your cost, you can make it up the things. Only the limitations will be there, but you have to make it a much more e-learning, because through medias you can learn whatever you need, what one for the trend. Especially in the traditional method, those who are not able to pay the amount, what happening? Not the parent, they are not able to study for the particular institution. But the today version is whatever you want, you can learn. Only through that you have the facility for the minimized facilities for the internet and laptop or computer, something else. You can even mobile is enough for that one to learn much more things. The privatization of the education. So automatically, so the individual needed whatever he need, we can educate through the lateral media. But traditional matter, there lot of procedures will be there, lot of concept will be there. So once if you have all the procedure, then only you can go for a learning. If you're not able to pay the tuition fees, you are not able to get admission into the colleges and admission into the. But here, whatever you want, we can learn. Only thing is a minimum facilities you are having. So through that, whatever you learn, whatever you want, you can learn much more things for the things. Next one is the e-learning. In an online multimedia learning environment, teaching and learning is one-to-one. E-learning is the use of electronic educational technology in learning and teaching. Conceptually, e-learning is broadly synonymous with instructional technology, information, and communication technology. So normally the e-learning, this is the development. Already I told that there's a development of instructional technology, information technology, and communication technology. Because first what the instruction technology. Instruction technology means what are the instructions, what way you have to approach us, and what are the procedures you can adopt it. And that more information you collected, more information and collected, and you have to communicate that what are the things you can communicate that you can communicate easily. That is the learner center. That through the e-learning, that's who are the learners? They come out for the center and they can develop the things. So most of the peoples, they wanted to learn something else, they had to come over that e-learning centers and they can make it up. So that e-learning is the learning centers. Learner monitoring and grading system. So normally, previous also we had the learning monitoring system. Only the teacher should monitor. The teacher should be monitor, or the management should monitoring of the learners grading system. But here, the learner itself, they had to monitor themselves and grading themselves. That concept should be making only through the e-learning system. So normally, lot of questions will be arised, because whenever if you are started new concepts, so definitely lot of defects, lot of drawbacks also come over there. So everything overcome through the experts. We can come over the we can come across the experts, and we can make it a more concept to more development or more advantage of the particular new concepts. Now we are discussing the benefits. First one is a convenient. I already told that self-service, mix and match. We have to make it up our own service whenever you feel free, whenever you feel your convenient time. I whenever I think free, I had to sit on the computer and I can lot of things I had collected from the town. Even then, and demand. Already I told that, and demand anytime, anywhere. Whenever if you demand, whenever if you need, I want something else. For example, somebody there asks question, immediately I can search for that. So when the demand arises, then I have to go for that one. Whenever I free, I can go for the search. So that is a more benefited, especially in the e-learning. The private learning. So the private learning. So private learning is when that also in the same concept. So whatever you need, because private learning means for that you're out of the your syllabus. Whatever the syllabus means, they have the covering only for the what the framing the work. In the frame only you have to cover all those. But here we can wherever you want, wherever you can, wherever systems you want, we can make it up. Wherever concept you want, which you take. Which concept you wanted to enrich your knowledge, you can enrich. Then self-paced. So that you have the own idea, your own timing, whenever you free, whenever you free. So whenever I think it, I had to make it up. Whenever I think of my concept, I had to go for them. The flexibility, that's a modular packages, a lot of packages, yeah, especially for within our availability, within our infrastructure. For example, already we are discussing in that traditional system, and that's a fee structure to be fixed. This much fee structure only pay, then only you have to enter for the rent. But today I have the money. So whatever I have to do, I have to recharge my option and I can go for a search. So whatever the need, if you're having, if you have the money, 1 hour you can sit on the computer and do it. If you have the more money, you can sit on the another 1 hour. So depends upon that flexible, you can make it up at any time, anywhere, you can make it up for the things. The next one is a cost effective virtual learning environment. So the cost of virtual learning environment. So automatically, when if you are go through that, if you have the mind will be free. So that automatically you have an interest. With your interest, you can learn. For example, especially in physical education, if you are the students are not willing to learn for their activities, apart from that, we are teach something else. What happen if you are doing that activity, especially physical activities? So it leads to the injuries. But that not be happen because once they have an interest, automatically they have to get the keen idea about the concept, the same concept, the virtual learning environment. That environment comes over. Once I have an interest on the particular area and particular concept, so I can involve myself. Then share lessons among schools. For example, even if you're nowadays a lot of the schools they are sharing the concept. Even universities they are sharing the concepts. Once the university they have some facilities that will be spread out to the other schools. So the cost wise will be say, more effective. Reduce material cost. Normally, if you want to purchase the book, even nowadays, especially in the Amazon, now there are a lot of the e-content books. E-content books. If you want to purchase the book, there is a cost to be high. But same concept, if you wanted to purchase in the electronic media, so the cost will be very less. So automatically, if the cost will be reduced, automatically what happening? For example, I purchased 2 books for my studies, my work. So in the same concept, I can purchase the 4 or 5 books through the electronic media. So automatically, if you have more purchase of the materials, so then that reduce the cost, material effect will be reduced. So automatically, the more inversion or the more opportunities to getting the more books. Reduce travel and accommodation. This is a very effective. That's a cost because once if you wanted to, for example, when we are doing the PhD work, so that time if you wanted to collect the materials, we have to go for a Gwalior. We have to go for there. For example, I told that you got to Gwalior. So that much. If you want to go here, we have to meet out the traveling allowances and food and accommodation. Everything we meet out and time consumption also. But nowadays, what happening? Just sit on the computer and we can collect it whatever material. Just to make the keywords of your research topic. Then all the materials you should collect it in a within a, where you are shit there you collected for that one. Then consistent. The central consists of content. So the central concept of content, because whenever if you have select the concept, when whatever concept, so based on that is the central content means. So based on that you can collect all the materials your library, whatever needs. For if you want the effect A, effect B, effect C, effect D, all the effects should be collected on the particular concept. The same quality of content for all. For example, if I search some topics in the Google, So whoever searches the topic, so everybody they get the same title, same concept through that content. So the material should be available in. If you are suppose if you are taken a book, what happening? So one word, one book they written some other way, other book written some other way. But here we can get the all the concept, all the content will be the same. For example, if you have anaerobic activities, what is the anaerobic activity? Somebody they are written as the without oxygen, if you're doing activity, there is anaerobic activity. Some books they are written as a without inhaling of oxygen. So the concept will be right, but the way of approaching will be different. So that's making a slight confusion of the author. But once if you are going for the whatever, if you are make it up, everything's in the same content will be there. Same quality of education for all. For example, if you have taken e-learning, especially that's a more advantage in the e-learning. So once if you are search and you once you have feedback, for example, if I taken a classes today, so tomorrow I taken a classes, that same thing will be slightly differ from the concept to concept, from time to time. Major concept will be same, but the other concept will be slightly vary. But at the same time, suppose I taken a classes and making a virtual media. So whenever they are going, the same methods or the same quality, they can get it for all them. So whoever wanted to educate themselves, so everybody that the quality of education. Even if you are sit on the, for example, already I told that private colleges and government colleges, they are not having the facilities. So if you are not having the facilities, so automatically they have the more hierarchy for the learning concept for the private institution. But once if you have the e-learning, so everybody that have the equality of the education materials they get it. Then next one is a media rich, easiest to understand and more engaging. So normally, because for example, if you are I am taking a classes, I am taking classes, all the subjects are not for the equal cadre. But once if you wanted to teach something else, some of the 50% are understanding, 50% not understanding like this. Then. But once if you go for the e-learning, so what are the needed? Even if you are not understanding, you can go for the other area. So other aspects in the same aspect, the simple to complex, everything is available in the media. Whatever you need, you can get it for the. So we can easily to understand and more engaging because once if you are understanding, automatically the engagement or the you can involving will be more. For example, I taken a classes. If the students are not understanding what happening, simply they are sitting in the classes and the thoughts will be roaming here and there. But at the same time, if you are enter for the e-learning, their needs depends upon the needs. They can identify the topics or identify the content. So automatically, what they are going, they are engaged themselves. They are create an interest. So automatically, the next stage, and they can develop the much more things will be taken up. Then repeatable as many times as you like. For example, this is especially for in physical activities also. Nowadays, lot of media centers, lot of companies, they come forward to make it up for the promoting health through the e-versions. So they are everything's they are make it up and the virtual media they can make it up virtually. Once if you want, we can make it up. The same movement, if you are not able to, again you can repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat it. Whenever if you are master, you can get good. Normally in normal classes what you are doing, you have to practice it, then easily we can get tired. For example, if one my students are asking some drills, I demonstrate some skills in front of them, so they are not understanding. 4 times or 5 times I demonstrate what I have done, I feel tired, I'm not able to go. Okay, we'll see tomorrow, something will be happen. Even I assign someone else, they are also doing, there are also some limitations will be there. But if electronic media, once if you are put it in our movements through the virtual media, so automatically whatever how many long we have to make it up the activities, so that's repeatable in the synchronized the same manner, it will be repeatable. Even I doing that some activities, I'm doing some activities, some skills, so initially it should be perfect. So 4 times, 5 times, after 6 times, no, there are some mistakes. Even I do as the same person, same individual, same day. If you are doing that activity, some lack of movement will be taken place due to the tiredness. The movements will be not perfect. But in virtual, whenever if you are doing that activity, wherever you're doing at any time, as much as long you can do it, repeat. Also, the same movement will be the same perfection will be there. So easily to understand that one. So easier to monitor progress. So normally that administrative, because normally if you are monitoring the students, if you're monitoring those, for example, if you're taking a classes, if monitoring is a very, very big task. So sometimes there is a lot of lapse also is there. We are not able to judge the students in properly. So that's a fraction of moment, the movements will be changed over because of near about 10 students, they are doing that activities. They are doing the activities. If you are a judge, if you are make a judge, what happening? We are not 100%, we are not make it in a perfect manner of the. So the pre-judgment or something will be influenced on the one. But at the same time, if you are having the virtual media, so easily we can assess repeatable to make it up. So the same concept easily we can assess and monitoring for the work. So automatically the less administrative work can be more precise. Definitely 10% we can the more precise if you are observing through the virtual media. So automatically that what concepts you are grading and everything should be make it up in a perfect manner. So building an e-learning culture. So that is a normally the teacher nowadays the teaching is understanding between the two professionals, that is a teacher, learner, and administrator. So teacher or trainer, if you call it as a teacher or trainer, learner, and administrator. So these three combination only is be a influencing of the teaching. So teacher develop knowledge and skills, understanding learning and its need, facilitate learning, creative learning opportunities. So through the e-learning, definitely every teacher develop their knowledge and skills. In both media, we have to make it, but the e-learning, it's a more advantages because already I told that whenever I free, for example, if a traditional method, 10 to 11, I have the classes. 10 to 11, I have the classes. What happening? Simply 9 to 10, I have some other work. So I'm not much concentrate on the classes. Just I take care as I prepare and come over the classes. But once if you wanted a virtual media, so you have the free minded and you can keep it on there and you can place it. So that's a more knowledgeable will place the particular. So automatically we have to develop our knowledge and skills, understanding learning and its needs. So normally, once if you're having that, because normally if you're taking a classes, the e-learning. So suppose if you are taking a classes, so what they need easily we can understand because some I taken a classes. Some of them they can the chat box or some other messages they message me. So I understand what they need. So based on the need we can make it up things. So we can change over for the trainings, then facilitate learning. So we can facilitate ourselves to learn much more things. So what are the needs? Once I go through it, so I can have the lot of queries in my mind. What are the queries in my mind? And there are a lot of the participants, they make a query. So I can facilitate. Create learning opportunities. Normally, e-learning, there is a no doubt on that one. The e-learning, they'll give you a lot of opportunity to create. So to learn a lot of things. And especially in the learner side, so previously what happening, that is he commanded by someone else, but he directed by the someone else, he monitored by someone else. But here e-learning, so self-directed, self-motivated, self-regulating, lifelong learning, 10%, because that self-directed, because what as a learner I want to something else. If you are traditional class, I give an assignment to someone else, you have to learn these things. I given a command, I given a direction to them. But what happening in e-learning, I am directed myself. I want these things. I want this concept. I want this area. I want this specialized. So I can direct myself. So self-directed to learn much more things. Normally, the self-interest. Whenever if you teach about the learning, if you are create an interest on the subject, definitely you can learn much more things. So here what happening in the learning, you have to direct yourself. Why? How you can direct yourself? Your self-interest. You have a self-interest, automatically you have to direct it. So once if you're directed, then you can lot of things learning, then self-motivated, because I have motivated myself. Okay, I learned something else, I have a lot of doubts in my mind. So what I think, okay, these are things I needed for that one, then how I can collect it for that one. Once if you collected, so automatically I can self myself it's motivated. Okay, our mind will have a discussion. Okay, you think it over, you had to get it to 25% or 30%. So you had to benefit at something else. So that is a self-motivate myself. And I can use the self-regulating also, because I can regularize. Okay, today I have these have the program, so I have to regulating. These are things I have to do it for the. These are the materials I have to collect it for the one. I have fixed my own timing. Oh, within a week I had to complete this thing. Within a week, because especially for the learning, if you have the self-interest, so everything's in a positive direction. If you're not having the self-interested, so automatically only that the direction is going on then, and all the disappearance will be there. But here there is not that. So e-learning is always lifelong learning, because already I told that once if you have an interest on the particular subject, so that urge. If, for example, I move on certain steps. Once I reach first step, okay, first step, then next, then next, then next. So automatically my movements, my journey moving on to the forward direction and reach to the till of the end. Then administrator, create learning environment. That administrator, especially that administrator role, will be much more in the e-learning, because in traditional they're also having that a lot of responsibilities, but here the most of the relevant situations, that environment, only you create a learning environment. There what you have to do, for especially in traditional system, the administrator should monitor the class, how the classes are making, how the students are come over, how the teachers are handling, how they are reacting, how they are receiving the things, how they are knowledging. So everything you are monitored. But here that monitoring will be very less. For that only it was that administrative is very less work in the e-learning. So the creating learning environment, we had to create the learning environment. So automatically everybody they come over there and they can enrich their knowledges through the learning. Then provide the ICT infrastructure, because without infrastructure we cannot do it for the tool. So that administrator, they much more concentrating on the infrastructure facilities. For example, in traditional method, even if a classroom is not there, because a lot of government schools, just you observe, they are simply sitting on the under the tree and they taken the classes for them. But that not be happening in the e-learning. So you can provide the proper infrastructure facilities, then only they can utilize for the tool, then only use for the tool. Then resources for lifelong learning, because we can collect all the resources. Once if you have the administrator, they have the what are the materials needed, and depends upon what type of students should a mentality or students should need, or depends upon the courses what you are running. So based on that, we can collect all the materials and feed it. So once if you have the collected all the materials, and that should be enriched with that. These are the administrative work for the e-learning. E-learning tools, video conference. So normally nowadays everything comes under the video conference. Everything comes under the video conference. One cannot leave lecture. One can conduct a live lecture, because, for example, we cannot leave any places. Simply, I can sit in the room and I conduct in the given a lecturer and given the, now nowadays I'm just already I explained to that. So wherever you want, you can conduct a live lecture. You can simply take another one snaps, say, take a video, and we can place it in the virtual media. So easily we can make it up. Communication with students. Easily we can communicate the students. But only one drawback, because when if you're having the e-learning, that learning tools, but the students are accepted or not, that is different. But we are make it up. We are making materials. Already they have an interest, so they come over there. So that we can make it up, that materials we can make it up, but the students also, if you are interested only, they have to come over there. So automatically, easily they can understand and they can develop into that. That communication with parents. So normally we can educate them. We can educate them, because normally the first time we are conducting for online classes due to the COVID-19. So the parents are making the problem. Simply you simply sit with the mobile and doing something else, because they are not aware of all those things. So we can communicate the parents. We communicate with the parents. What are the things are going? What are the things are happening? And same thing concept also, because some of the students, very poor students, they are not having the Android mobile. Then how they can make it up? So everything we can promote them. If you want to promote the e-learning, so we can communicate them and we can educate them and we can provide the, even if not possible, already we are doing on things with our students. We can contact, because some of the students are the very poor, they are not able to purchase the mobile. So we contact the Lions Club member. So we contact and they provide some mobiles for the poor peoples. So we collected and hand over it, means we can educate, we can motivate, and we can provide the facility to the students. Then support by audio, chart, and whiteboard. Uh, that all concepts, because first we are conduct. I have a very good experiences in that one. First, I conduct a program, online program. So I am not able to control. I am not able to control, and how I can manage everything. Then one step by step, we can say I invite some experts to come over there. So how we can operate it, and what are the things will be happen, how we can control the crowd, and how we can send the messages, and how we can use that using the board. So everything should be support. Then only the conference will be success. Then support sharing of applications. So lot of facilities are there, lot of sharing systems are there. All the systems you can support, then that video conference will be success. Normally, what they are doing, the students are what they're doing. Simply, whenever you're making that some video that the conference call, the same conference call we can use for the video. So video means some perfection will be there, some direction will be there. Somebody they are taken a video conference. So only that object will be not there. Simply that the raw audio will be there. So everything will be educated and we can make it a further one. Can be recorded and later be used for the demand lecture. So first, because whenever if you have the classes, for example, even if you're the traditional method also, if you wanted to take in a classes, what I do it no, some I had to make it up by mind setup. Okay, we had to take a classes, what are the concept today we have to discuss, what are the things you have to make it up. In that we can prepare and take in a lessons for the class students. But that is whatever you thought, there is a no record for that one. But here everything's recorded. So if you have done any single mistake or single mistakes, so that's be deliberately it will be making. So we had to make it a what agony. We had to record it and we can go through it once again or twice. Then we had to make it for the lecturers. Then demonstration. So after that only had to make it up that the video conference will be demonstrated. Tools, learning management system. Learning Management Center, that is called as LMS. So management of content. So already I told that once if you want, for example, now that FTP program is going on. So how they can conduct it? What are the concepts you can cover? What are the experts? So these are the management of content. So first we can think it over. So what is our aim? What is our target? What is the population that come over there? Who are they going to attend the conference? So based on that, you can manage yourself. You can manage yourselves, and based on the needs of the participants, you can arrange for the one. Then tracking students. Why you have to want tracking students? Normally, when if you're doing any type of activity, that's a benefit of the students. Now I want to learn something else. I am a teacher. Now I become a student. If you want to learn something else, I am a teacher. Always I told, now I am standing in front of you, I am a teacher, but always I am a student. Because always the learning process, students means they can learn much more things. So we had to tracking the students. At which age group, what category, that is leave it. The tracking student means those are urged for learning, we can identify for the students and we make it up. Then administrative features. So that administrative features, what are the administrative features? So what program? Because for example, especially when if you are start on online classes, so we are search all type of sources, centers, how we can make it up. Because some of the centers what they can manage. So what are the systems they are adapted, and modes, what are the mode you are going to teach, what are the advantages of the mode, what are the disadvantages, how it will be feasible for us, everything you make it up. This all comes under the administrative features. Integration with various tools such as chat, forum, and email, etc. So it is the various tools such as chat, forum, and email. We can make it up. For example, we are also first we are conducting a program for the online classes. We think it about how will we make it up, how will we communicate to everybody. So we have to communicate all the students through phone call. Then we'll make it as some separate group. Based on the group, we'll send a messages. Then we can collect it. So some other way you have to contact, and we can make an organization of things. Then reporting. Reporting is very essential, because once if you have a report, whatever program you conducted, if you have a proper report, so that report only we can analyze how the program will be successful. If you are success, or what are the drawbacks, what are the merits and demerits of the program, that we easily identify the reporting. Once if you are reporting, then a future plan will be carried out in a successful manner. The demonstration of multimedia learning system. So finally, we can go for the multimedia learning system. E-learning tools that already go through. Where to start? First one is a consolidating. Website is current and reflects university culture. So nowadays, because all the for especially for our controlling body NCTE, already they given an instruction to the every university, every colleges or every universities, they have their own website. Why they had asked to the make it up a website? So once we are go through the website, automatically on the website itself we can identify what are the programs they running, what are the courses are running, what are the fee structures are running, what are the availabilities of the, and what are the resource persons are working, what are the throughout the year what they are doing, everything you can easily find out for the internet website. Then university website have educational value for students and the wider community. Nowadays, if anybody wants, because the students enrollment, that students that education values for the students. So what are the courses we are running? What are the aims? What are the needed for the students? So based on the students, we can the educational outcomes will be make it up. What are the outcomes? Means, for example, if you have the physical education, what is our outcome for the students? So in the physical education, we have the various courses. Each courses, what we have the outcomes, what are the outputs? Because once if you have the outcomes, then only you can easily identify that systems should be correct or not. If you're not there, we can again we have to modify and we can do. Already I told that whenever if you start on a program or whenever if you introduce such a concept, for example, if you start on a new course, if you new course introduced for normally nowadays they are started for the B.Ed for the 4 years course program will be started. So once if you started, 10% it should not be success in the first time. So we can analyze and we make it up. How we can analyze? So first we can find out what are the educational outcomes of the each courses. Then you can identify whether it's be fulfilled or not. Then we can go for further. Then only that's a promoting. So future that the drawbacks will be merit and the courses will be increases. The students can use multimedia. So all the students now, because due to COVID, already I told that due to COVID, all the students nowadays they are using for the internet. Before that, first when we started and the problem arises, we get data from the students. Only 15% of the students they are using for the internet. They are using, and the 15% also they are using only for some unwanted things and not for the specific purposes. They are not using. Simply they are using the WhatsApps or something that they are using for the mobile. But nowadays, all the students they are using for the multimedia. Then next one is advanced. Teacher use the internet to display and initiate learning. So I already told that nowadays teachers also, because previous what in the traditional method only teacher having the book and they had to prepare something and they had for that. But now they're using the intranet to display and initiating meaning. Nowadays everything through the intranet and they are started for that learning. Teachers can design web pages. Now we are learning how to make it up. Only we think before that, before the pandemic period, only we know that only we are using for the, you are preparing for the PowerPoint. I'm not telling for the most of the staffs. Some of them they are already done. Most of the staffs, most of the students, they are knowing only for the PowerPoint. Now we can know that's because once if you are entering the field, now we can learn. We can learn for the additional steps for the teachers. Students submit learning using floppy, network, and print format. So automatically, what are the things, what are the they are learning? Because we can't identify. Simply the students are make it up. I can learn. How do you monitoring? How do you meritorious make it up nowadays? So they are learning, they are how to make it a floppy, how to make a copy. Because first time we are conducting a program for examination through online. In our university we are conducting the examination through online. The students, they are not able to make how to say, how to copy, how to make it up. So that also now they are learning through that. So automatically we are insist them to first you can whatever you write, you can take in a photocopy and you convert it as a PDF, and you can send it through mail or some sources or through the WhatsApp or something else. So then they can little bit learn. Okay, use selected software to source knowledge, because nowadays lot of software is there. For example, especially if you want to go for a statistics, you can go for SPSS packages. Same thing, whatever you know, if you're a CAD, if you have a lot of packages with there, what are the needed for you? First, you can identify what your need, what your work, job work. So based on then, you can select for software and search your knowledge. Automatically, you can make it up of that. You can increase your more knowledge. Use the internet to complement learning outcomes. Definitely, I already told that. Already we are discussing. So once if you are using the internet, that is a more complement or more advantages or more enrich your knowledges. Already I told that if your teacher teach, they are having the certain aspects only teaching. But if you are go through the internet, what is your need, what is your based on your need and everything you get it. So more information you can collect it in short duration. Because I have a time, only if I have the 45 minutes, I have the classes. In the 40 minutes, what possibility I can make it up, I can do it. For example, if the students are there, some of the students are more grasping power, some of the students are less grasping power. So I am a teacher, I have all knowledges, but I can't teach all those things in the 45 minutes because some of the poor students are there, they are not able to cope up of the things. So in this aspect, what happening, I can understand my students. So based on my students' capabilities, I can teach for them. But if you are going from the internet, nothing will be happen. Whatever the things depends upon their individual capabilities, they can learn. Even a single person, candidate A, they can learn certain things, 50% through the 1 hour, but the same concept, even some of the students, they can get a more than 100% on the particular thing, because depends upon the ability, depends upon the capability, they can move. Use of personal web pages to link the variety of programs. So normally, even if you start on most of them, they are start on web pages. Through the web pages, we can connect a variety of programs. The variety of programs we can make it up. Even whatever program if need, if everything can do it. The next one is the e-learning and digital classroom. E-learning design. Teacher used the internet to initiate the measure learning. Already we discussed. Email is focal educational exchange medium. Yeah, definitely. The first of all, you can make it of the educational exchange media, because whatever if you learn, whatever your materials learn, if you wanted to make it up, we can make it up your classroom, or if you're first we are send all the materials through mail only. We send to the mail to the students. Even if you are, I learned something else, my friend or my colleagues or somebody, they wanted to that, I can send the materials through email. The students are able to manage and produce digitally edited movies. Even nowadays, most of the students they are started to make an editing the programs. Multimedia visually literally is a valued learning focus. So I already so that the multimedia nowadays that's increase the knowledge, enrich the knowledge. So automatically our learning focuses increases. So easily you can focus, and we can easily reach our target, as per our the schedule. Even if we want, whatever we want, wherever we want, whenever we want, we can do it for the one. Teacher can comfortably use digital multimedia to enhance learning. So definitely, because once if we wanted to learn or enhance our knowledge, so the multimedia using very useful to make our enrich our knowledges. Introduction to teaching in physical education. Normally, because that practical, the theory aspects, okay, theory and practicals. So when if you wanted to make it up our physical education, because our physical education is a collaborate with the theory as well as a practical aspect. This is a practical oriented courses. So more aspects on the practical oriented. So how we can make it up? The courseware is represented using digital multimedia materials which include video, 2D animation, and 3D virtual reality. So if you are using this video, 2D animation, 3D virtual reality, so the movements reality will be there because the various angles we are taking, we analyze and we prepare for that one. Next one. Courseware with the digital multimedia materials not only can increase the learning efficient, but also inspire students strong interest in learning, especially in the area of physical education. Because for example, if you are learning, I am learning a lot of certain things. So how I can monitoring? I can learn something else. So my movement also I taken a videograph. So automatically what happening? The students are interested. Okay, they are taken a photo. Our face will become over there. Our movement will come over there. Easily we can analyze. For especially lot of advantages and lot of disadvantages there. Because normally, especially for physical activities, we can one on one because whatever there individually we can correct the mistakes and make it up. That is the 10% the students will be increases. But if you are making the virtual, what happening? That is the teacher should not make much control on that one, much not able to make it up the correct mistakes will be made in that monitoring. If you can monitor, but the time consumption will be higher. For example, if in a traditional classroom, traditional practical classes, just he go around the students and easily they can monitor and immediately on the spot itself they can make a correction, so immediately they can observe. But virtual video, what happening? Even if it there, we can record it and we can send the things. Again, you have to make it up. So the time gap would be there. That's a demonstration and that's a clarifications. So, but here, where you have to demonstrate, there itself the mistakes will be identified and corrected. One advantage, one disadvantage. This is the time gap between the execution of the skill and correction of the skills. But at the same time, the time consumption will be higher, but at the same time, the individual, if you are taken a virtual videograph, so once the individuals making the mistakes, so they notify themselves. So automatically what they think about the correction will be carried. The time consumption is higher, but the reality, the realization of the individual will be higher. Because normally, when if you are taken a classes, even if the coach or the teacher you tell them to you have done mistake, you can correct this, what they told, no sir, I am doing correct sir, you are not doing, they are arguing. But at the same time, if you are taken a virtual, so automatically if you are recorded and so the recorded to them, so automatically what happening, they can easily identify the mistakes and rectify the mistakes. Normally this will be happening previous, but normally when if you are going for the matches, I regularly use for the, just I make a video for the our matches. At the break time, what happened at the first at the break time, just I show the video to my students. So these are the mistakes you are done, so you can rectify the mistake, definitely your performance will be better. So they are realizing the same aspect, the e-learning will be promote much more things to develop, but the time consumption will be higher. Then the concept of based ADA model with the four basic phases of analysis: design, development, implementation, and evaluation. Design. First of all, that wherever if you want the, we had to design the study, means the design the program, what way you have to make it up. Then development, how we can develop. First we can design. So what are the concepts to develop on the particular program? Then we can implementation to the students. How you can implement it. Then evaluation. Evaluation is the first and foremost. Once if you are evaluate, then only the program will be success or not, then we can carry it further down. Why I use this web-based e-learning platform, user can learn the relative knowledge about sports at any time in every place. The teachers and coaches can use the system as a teaching facility to mitigate loading and teaching. Now, definitely, because once if you have the, already I told that, the reality, the real understand, once the teacher that given a direction of the mistakes of the students, they are visually they are observed, So once if you are having the visual approach, automatically they make it up. For example, if I have the time, whenever already I told that lot of websites are come over there through the website. That you can if you are registered, they can even make whatever training you want. Every training that's been displayed, you can make it up. If you want the circuit training, they can promote the circuit training. They display the circuit training based on that you can use on. If you're plyometric training, if you want to go, you can do for a plyometric training. You just display the plyometric training, and they can make it. So once if you are adapt, if you are showing repeatedly 1 or 2 times, if you are showing, you can easily understand for the third, because due to the condition. Then one advantage is, for example, what happening in traditional method, if coaches is not come over there, what they are doing? Simply they can sit and talk, and the time will be wasted. But here, if you have the real interest, so automatically what happening, you can go for the virtual media, and you can do the activities, and you can practice for your own. But through the teachers and coaches also that increase their knowledges or enrich their knowledges and enrich their performances. Design concepts. So demand analysis. The task carries the analysis of demand to specific subjects of sports teaching and learning, learner learning environment, resource, the goal, and system framework need to be analyzed. So once if you wanted to, first of all, we can what demand, what is needed for the subjects, what sports you are going to take, what type of students are there, what capabilities are there. Normally, what we are doing when if you are going for conduct a coaching camp. So before the coaching camp also, just you get a biodata from the students, and you can analyze how much experiences are there, what are the merits and what are the merits, which are the part they are suitable, which are the parts they are having the weakness, everything you are analyzed. So based on the same system, we can implement it for the digital also. Once if you wanted, here a little bit slight difference. So what are the materials needed, what are the equipments are needed, that all you can include it and frame the things. Our goal is that the players can get the sports skill, understand the exercise, rules which may establish their morality, which nice norms, law abiding directly, know the processing of first aid with web learning platform, which supplies the serial courseware of physical education. So everything's on your activities. So whatever you need, what are the rules and regulations, what are the rules and regulations, and what are the first aid, everything you can easily analyze for the our you can make it up in the design. So then easily, for example, if you conduct a camp, if you conduct a coaching camp, or if you conduct some program, so what are the chances are injuries? So what are the rules and regulations? Everything you implement, so easily the students go through it and they can analyze easily. Coach also can use the platform of a teaching facility to mitigate loading on teaching. For our demand in this project, we need to the specialist of digital content and designer, programmer, professors of physical education. Normally, because normally when if you are conduct a coaching game, that coach is enough and physical education teacher is enough. Yeah, because if your coach alone not control the team, if your coach they had to control, but the physical education teacher also accompany with them, so automatically easy to make up or some in charge staff will be there, so easily. But here, especially we need for that because the digital media, we can art designer, programmer, everything needed to frame the particular concept. The achievements and literature are also needed to investigate the study in order to improve the demand and create new ideas. Definitely, because already I told that any new concepts come over there, any new concept come over there, definitely that's the only the testing period. This is a testing period. So certain things will be implemented. So we had to make it up. Once if you are implemented, so we are find out what are the drawbacks of the continuous or what are the merits of the particular things. Then we analyzed with the experts. Then we can promote the things. So implementation. In the pace of implementation, the plans have to drop. The plan should consider the timeline of implementation and the process of training at least. The procedure of formative evaluation for the learning efficient of student should be established since the final system is developed based on needs, testing and modification while utilizing a prototype system with members of the target audience. It is necessary to construct the procedure of summative evaluation for final products which include the courseware and platform. So the implementation is very essential part of the thing. You have to make it up how we are going to implement it. So once if you are implemented, at least the benefit, what are the category you are taking, what criteria of people you are taking, what are the population you are taking, and who will be penalized. So everything you can use for the population in proper way and the development. Already I told that once if you are implemented, then only we knowing the what are the drawbacks. If you are implemented, is it right or wrong, or if it's a successful or not successful, which how many percentage it will be successful, everything you should analyze and you can make it, then you can submit, then you can make it up a further program evaluation. So once if implementation, then you have to go for a evaluation. So the evaluation also through the your system operators, because we are analyzed for technical. So in the system also we can make it up a system also. During the period of testing, modifying the first system, learners and coaches start to use the system and make evaluation for system. Here only one thing is previous that the evaluation only done by the coaches, but here the evaluation done by even the learners also, because they also observe them. They can easily, because that coaching aspects, because for example, I have identify some mistakes and I given a direction, how do you make up and how do you improve your things concept. But the learner, they can understand what are the mistakes done by him and that will be rectify it. Once the mistakes are rectified, the performance are highly increases. They may propose their suggestions that will be a reference to modify the system and the coursework. Then the task carries out the testing and evaluation by specialists whose research areas in the human computer interface, educational technology and physical education. It tries to find the problems and makes modification by carrying out the entire evaluation to system. In the next, the correction of course needed to certify. So normally, wherever you make it up, because last week I attended on PSC Viva's examination. In that, in Annamalai University only, in that scholar, they can identify, they are making some program like there's a marking of track. Just if you're given a schedule, given the length and width of the area, so automatically they have to, the computer system, the system itself, they make it up. So they design, they can make it up. So if you want any mistakes, I ask you, how do you make it up? So they had to make it, they had to consult with some experts, and they are make it up some corrections, small corrections. Whenever they are facing the problem, they had to get a concurrence with the experts and they modify. Now, if you just feed the concepts, so automatically the result is how you can make it up everything. So you can make it in a drawing of track in a perfect manner without any calculation. Everything they list out because the time consumption. Once if you are feeding the things, the result will come out. The formative and summative evaluation will be implemented and finished in this space. Finally, the correct course will apply to the activities or instructions. So in that way, once after the evaluation, we can get an idea. So any modification, then modify, then we can implement it. Then we can the systems will be adopted in a manner. So the physical fitness activities, for example, each movement should be repeated 8 to 10 times. Adjustments, increasing or decreasing repetitions can be made according to personal abilities. Then taking a break of 30 seconds. Students can choose suitable exercises in the video clips according to their abilities. Example of movement sequence. For example, I given a certain movements that A5 plank, A3 launch, A3 arm crawling, A4 steps, A5 high knees, and A6 glide bridge. So based on that, we can make it up. We can make it up the exercises in sequence manner. So taking a break 5 minutes after one round may continue in another round. So whoever we want to make it up, we make it up. In the same concept, for example, if you want You can repeat it in first itself. For example, first you can start. Is that also you have a single video clips for the AFI. You have to make it under your perfection. The time consumption will be higher, but at the same time the perfection will be increases. In the traditional system, what happening? You are doing that activities. We are doing that in the short duration, but the perfection is not exact because whatever the coaches say, the students not accepted for the one. Even not all the students. Some of the students they are not accepted. Even some of the mistakes they are not. They think that even if I am a player, I am a coach. Now I involve with play. I involve with the players I'm playing. At the time also, I can't find out my mistakes. I can't find out. Even somebody tell, I'm easily, I can't understand. Okay, this is like happening or not. I have a doubt of my mistakes. But at the same time, if you virtual things, if you are doing that activity, you can easily observe your movement and you can identify your mistakes. Automatically, what happening? The process will be excellent. So normally, that is only one concept in there. So wherever you want to go, we can make it up in a proper manner. Wherever you want, you can go for a proper manner. But only concept is that is a training. Now that's a initial period. We can implement it certain things. If you are get it right, you can proceed. So day by day, the performance will be improves and we can come to the one point. The same causes when if you are failing the teaching activities. For example, if I teach for the some physical activity for the students, near about 50 students are there. The 50 students I can teach easily and easily I can monitoring the short duration. But I am monitoring, but the students are not monitoring themselves and pursue for the one. For that, it will take long time. For example, if they take long time, the students are identifying their own mistakes. But what happening, especially for in virtual media, we had to first you had to select some 10 students and we can make it up. Even if you're in a class, what you are large, near about 50 or 60 students are there, we can assign some students, you can take the classes and you can go on monitoring. The same system should be implemented on the virtual media also. First, you teach 10 students. Each the 10 students also, you concentrate, it will time take more. But they can understand, they can realize, then they have to ask them to teach 10 students. So in this way, you can easily promote the physical activity through virtual media. Because that's the one advantage is that is that what mistakes done by the students, easily they can understand. And once if you understand, that ready to modify their movements. So what we had to do it. Initial stage, we can more concentrate or more time spent on that activities than that activities that is spread out. So easily we can promote the virtual media in physical educations. The conclusion. That is only my conclusions. But whatever it may be, my suggestions, because we are discussing only, not for this is the authenticity. So every individuals, because lot of people you are observing things, every peoples you can design your own activities, you can implement to your students, or you implement to your trainers or your learners. Then what are the defects you can make it up. Then we have like suggestions. So all your suggestions will be needed. Then we can modify and we can promote the physical activity in virtual media. It is necessary to study the state different countries experience in online instruction in physical education instruction, comparing and analyzing how online physical education classes are conducted worldwide. Accordingly, there is a need to review and systemize approaches to online physical education classes that highlight each country's cultural and educational characteristics and to examine the effectiveness of online physical education classes as a whole. There is need to explore the potential of online physical education classes linked to face-to-face physical education classes to examine their respective effectiveness and potential possibilities in light of physical education teachers. Increase the expertise gained through the operation of online physical education classes. Already informed. So every physical education professors should come forward. This is not a single man job. This is not a single man job. So everybody they have to come over and they have to make it up. So all your experiences, because now theoretically you are okay, but practically when theory as practical is differ, theoretical what we taught that is differ, but practical implement, we are facing a lot of problem. So what everybody, you can implement your problem, your theory to practicals. Then what are the problem arises? We have to discuss and we can promote the activities in the virtual media. Thank you for the given opportunity. Rajesh, mute your mic.
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. Participants, now if you have any questions, please ask your resource person. I think people are in hungry mood.
Hungry mood. Apart from that, this is a new field, new area. So we have to further only to then all the participants,
Yes,
everybody, you have the responsibility, because if you are success in that field, definitely, because already I shown to the some of the figure, we are not aware of that much experiences in the virtual media. So
Yes,
now
sir.
only we are also learner in this area.
Yes,
So
sir.
everybody come forward, because some of them maybe the expert is there. Especially I tell Sedu from MS University.
Yes,
Now
sir.
we are doing very wonderful things in the virtual media. So a
Yes,
lot
sir.
of peoples are there. So these peoples are come forward, and others we also try to do something else for the virtual media.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are following your words, sir. We are youngsters. We are following whatever you explained in ICT tools related, how we can utilize e-learnings portals. Now, presently, we are in 2021 century. We have to utilize the more and more in technology side. That will be very helpful for our teacher side and as well as students.
Yeah.
Also, I want to invite Dr. S. Manigandan, Professor and Head, Department of Physical Education, to present e-certificate to the resource person.
Thank you, sir. Sir, first of all, I would like to thank our today's resource person and my teacher, beloved Dr. Professor T.V. Selvam, sir. So he readily accepted my invitation. When I asked sir, we need your knowledge and please kindly share your knowledge to our teacher participants. Definitely, it was happened now. So really, this session is a fruitful one for our teacher participants. So definitely they get enrich their knowledge in the field of e-learning and e-teaching. Especially our physical education, we are struggling to teach the students and also learning in e-learning sources. So definitely it will very useful to us, sir. So in this juncture, on behalf of the organizing committee and university authorities, we are providing e-certificate to you, sir. As a token of love, kindly accept this one, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you. Proudly says, because I am one of the former faculty member of the TNPSU. Really proud of you. Thank you, Manigandan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your resourceful lecture. From your lecture, we are able to understand e-learning and teaching of physical education and activities. And e-learning is called as blended learning, like you have explained very well, sir. I think this is very useful for us. We are also understand the importance of e-learning tools, video conferences, how we can utilize the video conferences and Zoom and other apps, how it is possible to access the student and as well as teachers. It is very useful for us. On behalf of the organizing committee and participants of this faculty development program, I wholeheartedly thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir.
Shall I leave?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In this junction, just I say sorry because I am not in Chidambaram. So I prepare some videos. Due to that factor, I am not able to. I inform my daughter to send by mail, but not able to send because there is a much more concept in that concept. So if the mail is not accepted, if possible, I'll send it to you. After reaching that, I send it to you just to pass it to all the participants. Huh?
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Definitely, sir.
Rajesh, sir, now you can conclude the session, sir.
Yes, sir, please. Dear participants, day 5 is over now. We will meet you tomorrow morning. Kindly join us tomorrow by 9:50 a.m. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm Dr. K. Rajesh Kumar. Department of Physical Education, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University. Thank you once again. Thank you, sir.